Everyone, I'm Jackie Jing with Kicks and Intero, and we just wrapped up Playday 5 of the Canadian Division, and now we are moving on to Challenger League. It is the finals for Stage 1. Super exciting stuff there. Rentfree versus the Last Dance. All right, gentlemen, how are we feeling about this matchup? Who's going to take it all? Who are we picking to win? Intero, I'll put you in the hot seat first.
I mean, honestly, probably Rentfree. They just won the R6 Rivals last night over PogChamp. They are definitely a mighty fine team, and they are, I would say, the favorites going into this. But, I mean, the Last Dance are certainly no slouches. They're real good as well. It could go either way, but I think the edge is definitely here on Rentfree.
All right, Kicks.
I mean, recent history also backs up Rentfree, as Parker just mentioned. I personally don't really feel strongly that, like, one or the other is the superior squad, though, to be honest. So... we've got a lot of talent and depth on both teams. I don't really have a guess.
Let's go with no guess and Rentfree from Intero. I love it. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to let you start prepping for the match. Let's get right into it. I will chat with you all in a little bit. Bye. Oh, we didn't do bracket. We have to do bracket. Let's throw up the bracket really quickly.
Okay.
I apologize. Okay, roll the bracket. I think. There we go. Okay, here it is, gentlemen. Taro, you want to break this all down? Tell us how we got to where we are today.
All right. Well, I mean, it's been a couple weeks now of watching Challenger League play. Last week we had some time off to do the Canada Challenger League, but other than that, I mean, it's clear to me that the top teams are, well, the top four. And I mean, going into this season, I think we all expected PogChamp, Rentfree, the Last Dance, and Joe Esports to be in some mix for the top four. Smart money was on PogChamp just because of that roster and what they achieved last season in the very final season of Challenger League in its old iteration. But Rentfree steps in, and most of Rentfree is that old Luminosity roster, or was at one period of time. You know, it had Doodle on it, it's got Rexon on it, it's got Thomas on it, Drip is on it. That's the old 92 Dream Team squad that a lot of people come to know. And the Last Dance has some heavy hitters as well. Spades, Butters, and Young were all previously in Pro League prior to the changeover to US Division. So both of these squads have a huge amount of pedigree. They're going to be competing, as you can see, for the top 8 spots. As with Challenger League, Spiker and Beast Coast are in trouble. They're just fighting for their seeding, but there are relegations because there is a refresh of the bottom 2 teams in Challenger League at the end of every stage. Next stage, the one that's going to end at the end of 2020, that's the one where the top team in Challenger League will face the bottom team in the US Division, and that one is going to be for all the marbles.
Okay, and also we want to remind everyone that the other matches will be community casted. That will be available online. I apologize for jumping the gun. Just so excited to get this underway. So now, gentlemen, I will let you get to the match, do your preparation. I'll see you a little bit later.
Bye.
Bye.
I really like those glasses on her, I gotta say. I took mine off because these headphones compress my ears more than I suppose I thought they would, and because of that, it pinches my glasses, man. And she's got the wireframe arms. Mine are nice and thick. Same as the headsets that we use at live events, by the way. I can almost never keep my glasses on. I wear them for the camera, and then the moment we're off camera, the glasses come off.
When I'm at a live event, and we've got those ones that like curve over, and they have the extended, the typical LAN headphones. When I'm at the live event, when I'm casting and I'm not on camera, I'll take them off, and I won't hear the game sound, but I can do without that. I'll put them on my neck, and I'll like arc the mic up so I can still cast. I just won't be able to hear the game, that's all. And it's because, yeah, they press on your ears, man, and it's like you just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think I've found more than maybe 1 or 2 pairs of headsets across my entire time of trying on headphones that are comfortable to wear with glasses. That is my fault for not having great vision. It's not the fault of these headphones. I want to make sure, because these are quite nice. I like them. They're nice and they're heavy.
Yeah, we're
They're
talking
also
about
wireless,
different
but
headphones right now.
We haven't plugged in. Yeah, these are not the usual headphones that we use. The usual headsets that we use in the studio are even tighter on your ears. They just compress you. So anyway, glasses are off, but Jackie's looks great. We're ready to get underway here, and let's go through the maps. We have a map graphic for you. Neither of these teams, by the way, have logos. So the maps that we're going to be playing on today: Villa, Coastline, and Cafe. And there should be a graphic for it. If not, well, you can just go off of our great voices. Villa is going to be the Last Dance's map. Coastline is going to be map number 2. That's Rentfree's. And then Cafe is going to be the decider. Neither team picks that. It's just where we're going to go. So, bragging rights, money, a more favorable ranking going into next season. That's what's on the line here. And I'm pretty excited for this, honestly, Michael.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see who the top team is in North America. But without further ado, or North American, US Challenger League specifically. Without further ado, let's get into the map. It'll be Villa to start things off. Last Dance starting on attack, Rentfree starting on defense. As mentioned by Parker, this is the Last Dance. This is the map that they wanted to play on. Rentfree chose defense as a result. We'll start the ban phase very slowly. Clearly, they're deliberating as to what to ban. Okay, it's going to be another one of those. We just saw this.
Where we ended the Canada division, we will begin again.
Now
with Last Dance banning Thatcher. Mm-hmm. What is your prediction here? Oh, Jackal. Ooh.
Spicy. Prediction, like in terms of the operators?
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, I mean, the Jackal pick came too early.
I figure probably Mira, maybe one of the info ops. You know, the Echo, Valkyrie, Maestro. There's the Valkyrie, I guess. So yeah, this could be Mira. It could be Jaeger or Omai too. It's the Thatcher is out of play, so that's gonna change a lot of how the nading is gonna pan out. There's the Mira. Okay. Fan phase done. Thatcher, Jackal, Valkyrie, Mira. We know what will not be played.
Yeah, Tachanka.
Yeah, no, that won't be played. I wonder, have we seen any Tachanka in professional play as of late?
I don't know. I'm very eagerly awaiting his rework.
I am not so. He honestly, like, I'm worried based on what I saw from the video, the announcement video. I'm like, oh no, he's got so much kit. He's got soft destruction, the ability to destroy the studs, and then also he's got Molly grenade launcher. Oh boy, it'll be something.
I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
I'm excited to see how he plays. I come from the mindset where having old operators that are very firmly outside of the meta become strong and get put in the meta. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm just worried. I just hope that it's well balanced is all. The thing for me is he fills a bunch of different. He'll fill a bunch of different roles, right? So one, I'm imagining he's still going to be a good fragging operator because of the gun. He'll probably be slow, but you know. 2, he's a soft destructor. 3, he's a denial operator, so he fills the same role as like a smoke, for example. So I don't know. I just, you know, it depends on how it's balanced, of course, but it's just a lot of roles for one op. But we'll find out when we actually get to play him. Obviously, that's just speculation. I'm excited for the prospect of having him be actually relevant. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be strange seeing him get played. Also, you saw just briefly flashing on the top of your screen, the Pro League sets are out. You can adorn your 4 operators for this season with them on. It's Mute, Thatcher, Sledge, and Bandit. You get to choose which operators you want on them. You look real nice. And then a portion of the proceeds go back to the pro teams as well. So make sure that you're supporting Rainbow Six Esports. And if you want, feel free to purchase those skins.
30%.
Oh, that is Shroud's Charm. That is not available anymore.
Oh yeah, rare charm that. I mean, the route you would use to get it isn't even. You can't even. And then onto
And then you can't.
And then you can't.
You can't at all.
So yeah,
anyway.
Pretty neat. Butters.
I was going to say, already we've got a couple things that have been changed up here over what we saw out of Villon Canada division, and that's going to be a lot in the hands of the lineup. So obviously a very roam-heavy lineup from Rentfree, but they're going to be anchoring things down with the Kaid and the Maestro, and I'd imagine that Filthy is going to be doing the same on that smoke. As for Last Dance, while they're bringing lots of explosives, they don't like the Maverick pick, though. He is unbanned. It was a Jackal pick, as well as Thatcher. First casualty of this series is going to be Spades, still repping his tag from the old Evil Geniuses day, and the Ash main is in the ground with 90 seconds left to go in round number 1, so the halfway mark.
My name's Michael. Still gas canisters on Filthy. Still plenty of denial. You got the Evil Eyes probably still in play as well. C4 on Drip. So there's no real pressure here for the defense right now. Evil Eyes trying to get the Habana Excaros on the wall will be partially successful. The Electro Claw goes on the wrong wall though to save the rest.
45 seconds left, and you can hear the air jab somewhere over by the back of Vault. Obviously, there's nobody that's going to provoke that air jab, and it's a default plant coming in from Young on the Nomad. He'll need good coverage, as it looks like Benji's going to crawl up, and there's a Nitro cell, but it gets baited out beautifully. Benji on the ground. He's going to get back up and try to engage as there's a drone that goes just scooting on by. Hibana still outside on Study, one for Kylo, and Young is there as well. And down goes Thomas for another from Kylo. So you are now in rough shape if you're Rentfree. You trail. Impact gets tossed out. Doesn't do enough damage. Rainbow takes out Filthy, and that's it. The Last Dance will clobber Rentfree on round number 1. Young with the final kill. He was instrumental on that round. And with it, I think there was only one person, and that was Spades, who died from the Last Dance.
Yeah, that was a poorly coordinated round there for Rentfree. The way that they tried to deny the attempted defuse plant was bad, but also well done to the Last Dance for baiting out the utility, juggling the angles, and getting into it as a team. I love that coordination, the way they shifted off and shifted in based on what their teammates needed in the moment. Love to see stuff like that. It was a round that I would say for the Last Dance, it was kind of linear, their attack strategy, but the fact that they managed to open up the Aviator wall made all the difference, because as you saw, Benji was prone inside of Aviator. Why is that? Well, there's a giant hole in the wall. If he's not prone, he's going to die to that hole. He'll die to the Habana outside on the balcony. And because of that lack of mobility, there wasn't a lot that Rentfree could have done directly in terms of, oh, just peek, take the fight. And because they had wasted their utility, there's nothing they could have done indirectly. So, yeah, well played to the Last Dance. Poor coordination on Rentfree.
10 seconds remaining.
So, round number 2, and it's going to be once again a hold upstairs. The bomb site is up there as well over in Trophy Statuary, but teams will be playing off-site. The off-site is going to be Aviator. It's going to be Study. It's going to be games. Not much has changed up here from the attacking lineup, and my goodness, your IQ of Brainbow, who had been effective before, not going to be. Rexon tucks him into bed, gives him a kiss on the forehead, and that's all she wrote for the IQ as a spawn peek. We'll get our very first kill 20 seconds into the round.
Oh, it was fast.
I'd say so.
Didn't work out very well for Brainbow. Was that a pistol, by the way?
What?
And I just thought I heard the pistol that when he got the kill. Thought I heard the German pistol. But I didn't
No, I mean,
actually...
it shows the gun.
Yeah, I didn't check the kill feed. I just don't remember what it was, so I'm asking. Thought I heard the pistol.
It's a very brazen play by Tommy as he's prone on the ground watching the doorway into Master, and the window in particular. Drip absorbs an entire frag grenade to the feet, but he's still alive, still standing somehow. What realism, they say. His Butters is down below. No frag grenades, though, left, as he'd used both of them. So Drip will continue to play off of this hole that will lead in from Trophy towards Astronomy. And he's got an Evil Eye cam behind him as well that I'd imagine somebody is likely going to be calling off of it. Looks like it's Benji on them at the moment.
Faking it. Smart from Butters. Trying to get someone to peek him.
Played.
Nobody will peek him, but it's, you know, better safe than sorry. Last Dance just doing their namesake right now. Trying to figure out what they're dealing with. They'll get the potential batteries from below, which will allow the Habana to open up the wall. You can see that Tomas will be forced off. No real choice there.
Oh, Tommy, you gotta land those shots. That was a free kill onto Young, but he manages to miss most of those. The MP7 cannot do the damage that it needs to do. He's got a nitro cell, though. He's expecting a push up the stairs, but Young has gone to a different stairwell. All right, that's the G36 in the hands of Butter. Taking out Drip. Say goodbye. Now Tommy is dead as well to Butters. 2 big kills from the Yana, whose gadget tried to bait somebody out earlier on. A stand up from Benji will tear through spades, and more pre-fires going on into the spam pings, and so much damage being done, but Butters a 3rd kill. Young with 1, and Kylo will finish up. And that's it. Butters obviously amped up. Look at him. Also, by the way, I just want to take some credit here. Those glasses he's wearing, I voted for them, and those are the ones that he ended up picking. Among others, they look great on you, Butters. Butters, you look awesome. The Last Dance, up 2-0.
Well played there to the Last Dance. Everything's going according to plan, basically. They're getting the wall open inside a Master, laying down the crossfire, cutting off the rotation between Astronomy and Trophy before going for that execution into Astronomy. The way that they clear into Astronomy is beautiful. Coming up the stairs and pushing out of the bathroom door at the same time. Well done to the Last Dance for having such success. And that's regardless of the fact that they lost Rainbow early. And I just checked it, by the way. It was not the pistol. It was the carbine. I just swear, I heard the German pistol. Maybe it's because I'm wearing these headphones in a weird way. But, whatever the case, yeah, it mostly comes down to the way that the Last Dance it's got a very light structure, a very basic structure that they are adhering to, but never ever letting stop them from doing what they want to do or doing what they need to do to win a round. And I love to see that. I really do. I like what we're getting out of the Last Dance so far. 2 rounds on Villa attack is a good start. Although I will say, in the U.S. division, which this is not, Villa has around a 50% win rate for the defense, which makes it one of the most even maps for the U.S. division specifically. I'll double check that right now, but I think it's about 50. Let's see. Yeah, 57%, which is
also breaking news. It's Kilo, not Kylo.
Yeah, it's Kilo. Well, you've been calling him. Oh yeah, you call him Kylo.
I've been calling him Kylo because it's like kilogram, and I was like, it can't be called that, right? Kilo.
I think he means Kilo.
Yeah, which is what he means.
I don't think he wants to be.
I like Kylo because, you know,
thick boy.
Great Star Wars character. Oh, it's not Kilo, it's Spades though, and Spades' entry has been pretty bad so far today. He's 0 for 2, and Rexon, on the other hand, well, he's 2 for 2. Excellent job from him. The Last Dance have surrendered the opening pick in both rounds, but they have won the round regardless. Will we see history repeat itself? I mean, there's no way of knowing. It's a rhetorical question. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Butters has been excellent so far for the Last Dance, but he's gone now. A second kill from Rexon will come out right after you had seen Thomas dispatched. So, not exactly the spot you want to find yourself in, as you're going to get swung on. Benji inside of Hunting Vault. They're going to need to get Filthy up, as Drip is also very low on HP. 1 or 2 gunshots going either way, and this is still winnable for the Last Dance. Rainbow will need to cover. He was good before, but there's going to be nitro cells, and say goodbye to Young. He gets obliterated. Drip finished off, though. The tiny bit of HP is no more. Young will be gassed out, leaving just Rainbow in a 1v3. But he's going to have to confront a deployable shield all the way in Classical Hallway, and he's going to have to grab that diffuser and go for 3 kills. This is an almost unwinnable situation. He's got time on his side, though. There's still a minute left. He's full HP. Filthy is low. Rexon is easily dead to 2 bullets from that 5.5 commando. This is the 5.52 to be specific. But playing behind the reinforcement, this is going to be a tough spot to be. He doesn't notice that Rexon is playing up above. You're not looking down, you need to look up. Tommy's obviously very happy about that one. 3 big kills for Rexon in the very first round for Rentfree is now on the board.
The beginning of the comeback for Rentfree. But then again, over the next 3 rounds, if the Last Dance can take just one, they're looking real good. So really the pressure is on Rentfree. The way that round played out was very similar to the last time Rentfree went to that bomb site. You could see clearly rather that the Last Dance did the same clear. They're trying to get to landing. They're trying to push into Aviator, very linear attack strategy. Big differences here. They lost their study pressure. Yeah, they got the study wall open, but that player died real quick out of the gate. They lost Butters on the roam clear. And yeah, Butters got some kills as he was clearing out those roamers, but he still lost Butters. The main thing, the real piece de resistance, if you will, was that Rentfree figured out how to use their utility in a common, concerted manner, and they figured out how to pace their utility with one another. So you got your C4s going, independent of the gas canisters, independent of the evil eyes, independent of all these things, and that means that it's on the attackers to clear out that utility. It's on the attackers to bait all that stuff out, and at that point, when they got to that, interval in the strategy, I guess, they already lost almost all of their players. So it was a 2v3, 2v4, something like that. So pretty much unwinnable. Well done to Rentfree, locking that one out.
Almost seems like if they lose Butters early, that there goes the round. He's been such a good opening player, and I mean, he's number one, he's got frag grenades on the Yana. Number two, the discovery work that comes with the gadget. It's not just good for distracting people, but it's also good, as I noted, for that discovery. You're basically a head level drone at that point. And as long as you're guiding somebody in, of which Last Dance have plenty of players that you could guide in to make excellent work of your opponents, then you're going to be in a strong spot. So, but let's watch the man of the hour, because there's Butters getting out-dueled by Rexon. He was phenomenal in so many different games when he played on that Luminosity team in Pro League, and so far he's feeling it. He's 5-0-2 through 4 rounds. Technically only 3, as we're only a minute into round number 4, but he is making his presence known. He is now perfect on 3 for 3 for those opening duels, and a massive loss to lose Butters as early as they did.
I want to talk about the Yana a little bit more, because there is one big difference between her and a drone, and that is when you are trying to drone roamers, they hide from you. When you're running at roamers, they think that they've got an opportunity, and they try to chase you down instead. So a Yana ability, when it's like running downstairs, trying to find if there's a roamer underneath, making all that clump, 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 is going to attract roamers rather than repel them, and that's valuable. It saves a lot of time. I think it's not the only way you can use her, but that's one of the ways we've been seeing her get used. Rexon will give his life away to Young. Young says thank you very much, and we go to an even man count. Just a bit of an opportunity missed there from Young, but not unsalvageable, that's for sure.
The big thing is that it's on Rexon, who is the lion's share of his team's kills, and has been a fear that just lays in the back of the mind of the Last Dance. He'll lose his teammate, though, as Filthy swings, and he picks up 2 big kills, and he sits on top of the diffuser as well. Those are high priority targets, and he has them both lined up. So the remainder of the Last Dance, the 2 players of Spades and Brainbow, will now need to traverse in towards Master, but no, Filthy swings, and he's showing why getting dropped at a professional play was a mistake from his former teammates. In sprints the Ash, but Spades has not been able to put anything on the board. It's 2 in a row for Rentfree.
Was there no air jab on that door? They were playing like there was an air jab on that door. And no air jab detonated. Now, I know the air jabs only sometimes work, but on the second glance, I didn't see or hear an air jab on that door. So that's just weird, man. It's just really weird. I'm super surprised that there wasn't. Obviously, the Last Dance are got to be kicking themselves for that one. Huge round just thrown away, and Filthy super happy about that, I bet. Easy free double piece as he swings into Master. No one even looking at him. Easy lineup. And it only takes 1 magazine of the SMG-11 to seal the deal and the round. Now, we'll move on from that, as there's not a lot else to look at. I mean, I don't know. Did you see an air jab, Parker?
I did not. No.
Why were they playing like there was an air jab? That's so weird.
I'm not sure.
Nor I.
Anyway. All right, well, these have been very weird rounds to dive into here. Mostly just because they've been characterized by really strong individual performances. Butters single-handedly winning a round, Young basically single-handedly winning a round, Rexon single-handedly winning a round, Filthy single-handedly winning a round, and here we are, you know, and it's wild to me the way that this is unfolded. And I mean, we know that there's 10 players in the lobby. They are all perfectly capable of absolutely taking over and consuming a game. Nobody's going to argue that. The only thing that I want to see is, I mean, Drip hasn't woken up, Thomas hasn't woken up, Spades hasn't woken up.
Yep.
If they do, depending on who it is and when they wake up, because there's no guarantee they will. We've seen players stay ice cold for the entirety of maps and the entirety of matches as well. But if these players stay ice cold, if even one of them heats up, that could be enough to tip the balance. Right now, the Last Dance I would argue, have better overall spread on this team. As attackers, they've been bringing the heat to Rentfree. Rentfree's on defense on Villa. So far, it's tied. I mean, we talked about win conditions in the Canada Division game. But if you're the attacking squad and you're firing on all cylinders, you're going to need Drip and Thomas to wake up. And I mean, Thomas obviously and Drip are playing roles where they're going to be providing things for the team, but they just might not be getting the kills they need.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. Whenever you have those players, it's just like, oh yeah, when they wake up, everything will change if they wake up. We've seen that many times. And sometimes, you know, you're playing Siege. I know a lot of Siege players will understand what I'm talking about when I say this. Sometimes you're playing Siege, and you just get put in a corner. And it's almost as if you don't get to play the game for round after round after round. And then once you get an opportunity and you seize upon it and you don't mess it up, and you get to start playing the game again, it just feels so good. Nice shot there from Rainbow. Down goes Rexon. That was disgusting. Rexon's had a tendency to leave himself exposed to angles like that and die. He did a lot of damage on his death throws, but he still died. What?
Oh, living up to his namesake, because that one was filthy. He's been so good with that SMG-11 so far. 4 kills for him through the last couple minutes. And things go from bad to worse for the Last Dance. But it bounces back. Now Thomas is felled. Still has yet to find a kill as he and Drip are down. And the Last Dance have found their footing very quickly. 30 seconds left, and Benji will have to pull off a miracle. A great shot will look for a second on some pings, but he can't get the third. 2 of them so close. Spades is the clutch master on that round. It went from good to bad to good to, oh, no. Okay, we won. And that's as tense as it's going to get. It's a squeaker, but the Last Dance takes the round, and they regain the lead.
Yeah, such a shame for Benji. That was a career-defining clutch potential right there. And he came very close. Now, the Last Dance have essentially taken the first half. 3-3 will be good for the Last Dance. It's not an outright win, but we're getting there. This could still be 4-2. That last round was weird. Because you're right, it went really back and forth. It was a constant, like, okay, hang on. The Last Dance is going to win. Wait. Rentfree's going to win. No, okay, Rentfree, and then the Last Dance wins it on the last player. All over the place. The shots that were landed off-site, Filthy's shot there was pretty awesome. The free picks, though, that Rentfree are giving away, like Rexon inside a Memorial, ultimately mean that it's a 1v1 at the end there instead of a 2v1. Favor Rentfree. And, it's little things like that. Those early picks that can make all the difference later in the round.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I like that you said that they've essentially won the half, by the way. That's correct. We do tend to get caught up in the stats and the numbers. And I mean, for the average viewer, they might be wondering why we're saying, oh, they've won the half. There are times where we'll say, oh, a team won 4 rounds on attack on Villa. That's outstanding. And then it turns out that it's just a very attacker-sided Villa and that the attackers are winning everything all the time. And you're like, oh, maybe they didn't actually win anything. Maybe that's just, according to plan. Thomas might die, by the way.
He's been collapsed on.
He is on the run right now and on the move, and he's getting droned out of every possible part of the northern portion of Villa. Is still searching for his first kill, but he's also searching for an ally. He's not going to get his first kill. It's going to take the second half. We'll see if he can do better on attack, as on defense, it's a rough day. Opening pick goes to LASTDANCE, and they've been getting pummeled in this category, by the way. Rentfree have been, right now, just better in every round at establishing that opening pick.
The reason that's so rough is, okay, yeah, of course, Thomas hasn't gotten a kill yet, and that sucks for him, but it mostly is that is a pick early in a round that is going to decide between 4-2 and 3-3. 4-2 is real bad for Rentfree, in my opinion here. And that's keeping in mind that this is the LASTDANCE's map pick, so don't forget about that. Young will pick up kill number 2 for the round on to Drip. And there's number 3. Down goes Filthy. Now it's only Rexon and Benji, but they've been clutch players so far for Rentfree. There's definitely potential here. Rexon will get Kilo as he attempts to peek into Study. Nice shot. He's going to hold on to the Aviator push and get 2 kills, but no more. And there it is, the lockout for the LASTDANCE. Well done. Getting those early kills and not throwing it away.
This was a bit sloppy of a gunfight on the Rexon, but hey, what can you say? Rexon was obviously playing offsite to try and waste time. The idea, presumably, with running that Vigil is he can play down below and then he can retake and he'll fly under the radar because it's very unlikely that anybody's going to be sitting on drone that late, especially with the numbers that we saw out of the LASTDANCE. If it's a 2v2, it's a safe bet that there's going to be 3 players that will likely be on drones if they're still up strategically placed. And some teams will do that. They'll huck out a drone and they'll know that it's designed for flank watch, it's designed for post plan, it's designed for execute, etc. So yeah, maybe there's somebody sitting on it, but there were still 4 players up from the LASTDANCE, if I remember correctly. And well, I mean, you're not expecting somebody to be there on the flank. You gun one of them down, you continue to march through Aviator or through Study into Aviator, but you're obviously locked through that doorway. And that's one of the greatest issues with that bomb site. And it really shows when you're on attack and you lose your hard breach because you have to just go through a single doorway. And the walls next to the doorway can't be shot through. The best you can do is pre-fire. If there's somebody playing at the top of red stairs, if there's somebody playing inside of Aviator, you know, it's not good. Anyway, with that said, it looks like you might have to come back to us as we are being told that apparently Spades can't play, and that's rough. There's a joke in there somewhere, by the way, about scores, but we're not going to make it.
So what did I miss, Parker?
Literally nothing. They just said that Spades couldn't play.
Okay. Prep phase. So that'll probably just probably won't matter, I guess. So is it 4-2, if I'm not mistaken? And we'll just pick up where we left off when we actually get back to it. So that's unfortunate. It'll probably take a rehost, and we'll get everybody back into the lobby, and then we'll just continue. So far through this, we haven't really seen a whole lot of action for the second half, or any action actually for the second half. So we don't really have a lot to work off of in terms of contrasting what we saw in the first half, which is, I think, really kind of valuable to actually figuring out what we're going to see for the overall outcome. This could still easily go all the way back. We could go to OT, have this be the brawl that we expected. So don't count anyone out yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 points here that I want to make based on what we've seen so far from Villa. Number 1, Rentfree have been exceptional at being able to get that opening pick, but they haven't been able to do anything past that. And they are playing very much off of their roamers, and if their roamers die, I hate to say it, but outside of Benji and maybe Filthy in some rounds, and Filthy did have a couple big rounds, but outside of that, the anchor play so far has been really tough. And I mean, Thomas has had some struggles, Drip had some struggles, and as we reset, these players are still going to be searching for their first kill. So that's not exactly the spot that you want to be in. I know that the ultimate goal for these teams in the US Challenger League is to get promoted to the US division, or at very least finish first in Challenger League so that you have a shot at humbling the lowest ranked team in the USD. This is just for money. This is for placing. This is for bragging rights. These teams are going to take it very seriously, but it's not the be all end all. And I'm sure they're not going to beat themselves up because the pressure's not as hard as it is. Anyway, still, you can't let that pressure affect you because both Thomas and Drip are better than the scoreline that they've shown so far in game. And they're going to need to be better if they want to be able to match up against the LASTDANCE.
Absolutely agree. I think that giving them more time to just take a deep breath right now is going to be ideal. They're going to be able to think about how they've been playing and think about how they can play moving forward. But we just have to wait till we actually get the action underway for the second half. One big thing to keep in mind is now that we're going into the second half, we have Rentfree going on to attack. That makes things a little bit different. And when you're on defense, you should be able to at least have a word with the tempo, be able to like put some pressure on the attack as they're trying to roam clear, for example. That's kind of your job as a roamer. But at the same time, the attackers are still the ones in charge of the flow of the round. They're the ones who dictate that. They're the ones who have the authority, the active information gathering, and can work together to make that happen. Now that we're going on to the second half, and now it's Rentfree's turn to do the attacking, you might see players like Thomas or like Drip, start to step up and get those kills that you were talking about. You might also see them put in positions where that's just not likely or not practical given their stance. So it really comes down to the job they do in that case. So let's say Thomas is just told to drone, then that might be fine if he doesn't pick up any frags. So we'll see. Usually the reason why you'll have support players picking up kills is when there's like a gap somewhere in the line or a gap somewhere in the plan, and they compensate.
Tends to be the case. And another time is that, support players can get it, especially on those anchor spots, the same supports that you're going to see that are going to be droning, as you mentioned. A lot of times you see a hard breacher, their job is to drone for 2.5 minutes, try to plant, and probably die. And if you're being put in an engagement, that usually means that somebody's dropped the ball on proper coverage. Maybe you're down numbers, maybe it's a Hail Mary desperation play, you don't really know. There's a lot of variables, but at the end of the day, your support players shouldn't be topping the charts. They just shouldn't be, and they shouldn't be by far and away your best player. Now, if you're Rentfree, with the exception of Rexon, the way that Filthy's been playing, he's been playing that flex role that's been floating on the support, playing closer to the bomb site, and Benji has been exclusively support on defense. And both Filthy and Benji were sitting atop the scoreboard with 6 kills each. So obviously there's some problems there when Thomas has 0 kills and he's on the roam, or Drip is playing smoke and he has 0 kills. Those aren't spots that you want to find yourselves in. So these teams will have a wake-up call, so to speak, as we are back in game and we'll get things underway after Spades had some technical issues. And it'll be a kitchen dining room defense on the bottom floor, or, the main floor technically, for the Last Dance.
I like how Spades troll picks the Warden. There's not been any reason to have a Warden through this match so far. And this is, of course, Rentfree's first attack round. So even more, you don't have a reason. What's neat is the cap can. It's being brought, Butters, on that cap can. As an operator, he's not bad, not great. It really depends on whether or not the enemy is looking for his traps. If the enemy knows there's a capcan and looks for capcan traps, they'll almost never hit a capcan trap. But if the enemy doesn't know that, then they might. There's a possibility. No certainty, though. So he's kind of just like a... I like the phrase that you used, feast or famine. It either works or it doesn't work, basically.
Is this going to be another one of these? Come on. There you go. Spade's going for the run out. He tries to call it. It's a spawn peek from Butters, though, as the Capkin, and it pays off. He takes out Benji. Sayonara, IQ. IQ, a very strong operator with the lineup that's being brought from the Last Dance. Every single operator on the defense has some form of electronic that can be detected by her scanner. So you're going to have to just go on to do the drone work for yourself. The problem is that there's mute jammers and Mozzie pests, both of which will stop you from being able to do the full extent of discovery and intel gathering that you want. That's actually quite a crucial blow, taking out the IQ.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. And that's also going to be pretty massive, as down goes your primary soft structure. The vertical destruction will be significantly lessened. Butters, the hero of this round, that's for sure. And there should be no chance, really, for a recovery on Last Dance's, or rather on Rentfree's side, as Butters gets his third kill, peeking through his own C4 hole. He's hunting them. He's really going for it. And Butters is winning every fight he takes. Well, sorry, he hasn't really taken a fight. The first was a spawn peek. Second was a C4. The third was just shooting through a C4 hole, unbeknownst to the attacker. He's killing them, and they aren't doing anything about it.
This is just the revenge tour for Butters, proving that Tempo shouldn't have dropped him, or at least trying to make them understand that nobody does that to Butters.
I mean,
so it's Rexon and Drip, longtime teammates from ages ago on the 92 Dream Team. Drip finds his very first kill of the series onto Brainbow. There he goes. He'll break the goose egg as he's got that diffuser, and he has a greater task than just fragging out. Rexon's pressure will come towards Butters inside of this dining doorway where laundry is, and Drip will blindly fire through a wall. They likely are out of intel and not exactly sure what to do next. Playing off of these angles will be the defenders with shotguns in hands. There's some EDDs as well on the doorways, but most attackers will be able to sort through them. 45 seconds left, give or take. And the last dance are in a 4v2.
Drip looking to entry into kitchen. Nothing really going to come of that, though. He's got to deal with Butters to his right. Nope, sorry, left. Butters is right. He picks up his 4th kill. Knows the last one's in laundry based on the stuns that had just come in. So Rexon's position known. Here's the peek. He'll miss the shots on Butters. There's still ace potential here. You can tell that Butters wants it. But he'll die to Rexon. The tracers are easy to follow for Rexon there, and that's just got to be disappointing for Butters. It doesn't matter, though. There's no way Rexon will get the last 3 kills. Young will clean it up, and the last dance takes the round, putting us on the precipice of match point.
Obviously very happy with that one, and 4 kills to start off this second half is as good as, or as close to perfect as you're going to get without actually hitting that mark. Man, Butters was just on a warpath. He was able to rotate. You talked about it. He got 2 kills from below, one of which was through a C4. He got that early spawn peek. He took a lot of chances, and I mean, not a lot of people know Capkin for his fragging prowess. He has been played a few times on Villa, so it's not that strange to see Butters play that operator. And if you know that a team is prone to rushing or not necessarily droning everything out, if the time runs down, they often have to make a decision. Do I shoot the EDD or do I try to just get through it and engage on the other side of it? And as you saw, almost everybody on The Last Dance were playing off of doorways that had those explosive devices on them. So even if they shoot it, you still know that they're there. You don't necessarily need to do the 40, 50, 60 damage to them. All you need to do is know where they're coming from and be ready to greet them. So in a way, I guess it kind of acts as a pseudo intel device, very similar to what we used to see from the Legion mines when people would shoot them as well and know that they're coming from this direction. The first opening defense for The Last Dance, well, that's pretty good. And now they're only 2 rounds away from taking Villa. I predicted that Rentfree was going to be the team that would win this. There's still 2 more maps to go no matter what happens on Villa. Coastline is mandatory, Cafe is optional, depending on the score line through those 2 maps. And there's time for Rentfree to find their footing. But right now, The Last Dance have looked in fine form.
Yeah, Butters in that last round played really well. He, I guess he toasted him up and buttered him down. Man, I could really use some sourdough right now. Entry here for Rentfree. They're clearing out the roamers underneath. That's Brainbow and Spades. Spades will catch Filthy, but lose the fight. Does a little bit of damage to Filthy. Rexon will get 1 as he enters into landing. That's Kilo, also on the roam. No, sorry. Anchor by the B bomb chassis. So full control established here for Rentfree around the building. Young goes down in the bar, and this is looking like the easiest attack of the map. It's all on Butters as his last teammate is felled. No flawless round, and a double kill for Butters. He's low on HP, so the odds are against him here. He'll have to land headshots if he wants to win this. Not going to be easy to do, but it's certainly possible. No plant going down yet. Drip needs to get into the bomb site. Drone, I don't think spotted the opponent. That might have been called as clear, but it doesn't matter because Rexon still got his gun up. Rentfree will take their first attack.
Rexon's really feeling his aim today. You could see it on just simply the way that he was playing on the previous round. And I mean, he's known to be as accurate as most of the players in North America, maybe a little bit better. In this instance, Butters only had like 1 HP that he was playing off of. I think more specifically, it was like 10 or 15, if I remember correctly.
Siege Lingo 1 HP is a 25 or lower.
Yeah, it's one HP is one shot.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. So
yes, he was around 1 HP.
anyway, tough spot to be in for him. And Aviator does not go their way. The kitchen defense was unorthodox as it revolved around the off-site play of the Capkin and the omnipresence of Butters, who was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Well, the good news is that with the trophy statuary defense, teams are likely going to play in very similar fashion, especially if you're defending upstairs, which is going to be the case here on this bomb site, but is also very common when defending on kitchen. You will usually reinforce that triple wall, which is what Spades is getting at the moment, which leads into master bedroom, and you want to ensure that you try to hold the attackers at bay. We've seen some new strategies that involve aggressively holding the closet. I don't know if we're going to see that. It is aided in large part by magnets, ADSs, and deployable shields. It does not appear that the Last Dance want to really tussle with that part of the map. Instead, it looks like they're going to invest in defending Aviator and overbuy Study to try to slow the advances of the attackers should they choose to take Study as one of the routes to get close to the bomb site.
We've been seeing a lot of Study takes recently, but it looks like this is going to be a master one. 4 people spawning on the northeast spawn. The Assassin's Creed fountain. And I think it looks like the last one, Benji, is going to be spawning on the west. So it's a pinch by master. I think they want to clear below again. Yeah, it looks like they're doing that same train thing they did on the last round, where they train downstairs. Someone drones in, then like 3 people follow up the initial entry. They try to clear out the roamers below, then they hit the site. And it worked really well for them last time. I liked it. It's going to work really well for them this round, it seems. Spades will at least get filthy, but he's been put to low HP. So advantage the attack. He gets a second one, though, and a third! Spades is going nucleosis. Rexon will shut him down. Benji and Rexon now, the last 2 attackers, though, thanks to Spades' efforts.
I mean, it certainly seems like Rexon is unstoppable in this match. He's now broken double digits, by the way. 7 kills in 2 rounds. That's bonkers. That's absolutely bonkers. So he's being evenly matched by Butters on the other side, as Butters has 6 kills, and they're going to be put in positions where they should be collecting the heads of their opponents, or the ears or the trophies, or whatever you want to call it. So you have to give some time for Rexon to reposition himself, and he'll do so over by bathroom. He's been hitting his shots, he's feeling good, and he's on Ash. This is going to be scary. The only real way to drag him down, it seems, is to engage him in multiple angles where he might not be expecting a crossfire. Utility being used from the explosives of Zofia down below now as a C4 misses entirely by Butters, underthrown towards Astronomy, and there's patience from the Last Dance. A minute to go, and you're going to have to hurry if you're Rentfree. It's match point for the Last Dance if the 2 remaining members of Rentfree can't make this work.
At least it's map number 1. And reminder, everybody, this is the Last Dance's map. Second map will be Coastline, which is where Rentfree opted to go. It's not over for Rentfree. They're making a concerted effort to make their way into Astro, getting rid of the Evil Eye, pinching between the staircase and the bathroom door. But as you can see, the defenders are just waiting. They know they don't need to hold Astro in a 2v3. But they might actually. As Rexon maneuvers over to the master door, and another angle is added to this engagement, and the attack actually could potentially leverage it for a pick. But Rexon will rotate back to Astro to double down. This is the wrong call in the end, as they'll enter into their own enemy crossfire. The defense is set up here to hold this. You can see Butters in a great position, and all he needs to do is wait, along with his teammates. It's Kilo to pick up the final 2 kills, and the Last Dance bring us to match point.
What a play, and exactly what you expected of the Alda as they funneled on in. Ultimately, the story of that round happened a minute and a half earlier on the entry down below, where Spades stole the show and managed to outlive his lifespan, and outstay his welcome. He had a slow start to this series, but that round was certainly his, and I think you can give him credit for the victory. It's now propelled his team to match point on Villain, which is obviously a very comfortable map for the Last Dance, and they are experienced players. They know this. But Spade's wasting a ton of time and just playing loosely. One of the biggest things that we saw out of Rentfree was their inability to essentially attack at the same time. If Rexen had been a step or two faster, you almost certainly don't have Spades popping off and getting that 3K down below and killing your chances of the round at the same time. It's such a hard spot to be in after that for Rexen and, you know, and Benji to try and reassess where they're going to go because you don't have much utility. You're on an Ashe and a Zofia, which is soft destruction, but you're going to be attacking one of the few bomb sites where soft destruction isn't really that important unless you've done hard destruction too. So with the fact that you didn't have any proper hard destruction on your side, there was nowhere for you to go. Very similar to what we saw to Rexen before when he was playing on the Vigil and he had to go through the doorway from Study into Aviator. You're going to be trying to fight your way out of a corner, and everybody's going to be staring at that same corner, just patiently waiting for you. Eventually, it seems like somebody will be able to connect, no matter how many you take down with you. Usually not going to take them all down. So that round goes in favor of the Last Dance, in large part because of that offsite play, and Spades in particular. And now, well, we've got a kitchen defense. It was the very first site that the Last Dance went to. They won it. They got the opening pick off of, like I said, that weird Butters play where he was just roaming around killing everybody. Nobody could stop him. Unlikely that you're going to see a repeat of that, but it is a favorable bomb site for them so far, and we'll see if it holds.
Well, he's got Capcan again. So I assume Butters is going to clutch the round. He's going for an aggressive angle onto Rexen.
This is the analysis that they asked for.
And he'll get the win. That angle somehow working out. Good awareness there for Butters. He's already clutch. Meanwhile, I like this pre-play C4. Spades is going to call for that. So he's playing in statuary. He'll call when someone's on the door. And then the C4 will be detonated. It gives a unique layer to Spades' hold above. That's not the focus of the attack right now, though, so it might not end up mattering.
Honestly, that's such a huge pick on Rexen, too, especially with the way he's played. You can see the scoreline for the rest of his team. Mind you, that is post-rehost. Filthy and Benji both had 6 kills apiece before we went there. So, Filthy obviously can... Oh, no, he's dead. Okay, well... Just as I was complimenting him and saying that he could have possibly been a factor, he's removed. So, don't you just hate when that happens, when you're talking about a player and then they just die?
Wait, let's see if I can do it.
Pick one.
I mean, I'm looking for... I'm not seeing anything, so I gotta wait. I gotta wait till there's like an actual engagement presented. And I'll just pick one at random. Thomas. Oh no!
No! I cannot believe that just happened.
I mean, I was like, I don't know. I said it like as it happened, but Spades is going to clean up Drip. It's all on Benji with a sliver of HP. Looks like we're going to map number 2. Last Dance will clutch this one out, and it should be Butters to win it, but no, Benji somehow wins all of his... He lands all of his shots. Butters misses every single one. I would say 1v3. So, slightly less unwinnable.
He's going to make a ton of noise as he hits this barbed wire. There's an Evil Eye that can pivot as well to look at him as the Maestro is still up. And, well, they know he's going to be coming from Pantry. He gets blown up by an EDD. No! So Butters actually is the last laugh on that one. That's the first half. What did we talk about with Capcan? Butters the savior of that round. 7-3 for the Last Dance on Villa. That is an incredible performance for them. Absolute and utter domination. Now, it is their map, so it's what we expect. But we'll bring Jackie on in, and we'll talk about what we just saw.
Oh my gosh, I love Butters' expression. Like, he just had a little giggle there. That was awesome. But yes, the Last Dance taking map 1 on Villa, bringing down Rentfree. Intero, you picked Rentfree. I know it ain't over yet, but what do you think happened map 1?
Well, map 1 hasn't happened yet, so we're waiting for them to start this match. Honestly, I don't know. Rentfree put in a great performance yesterday in 6 rivals. They've certainly looked like one of the best teams. You know, we got to see the Last Dance earlier. We casted them a couple weeks ago, And yeah, I mean, the Last Dance is obviously the real deal. It just really looked like there were some lousy performances from Rentfree. Thomas and Drip could not buy a kill at the store today. So it's really challenging. And I know we harp on the fact that kills don't always matter, and they don't. Frankly, they don't. If you can play your utility well and you can be good on comms or provide leadership, etc., or drone well, then that's fine if you're not racking them up on the scoreboard. But Drip and Thomas both finished the game with a single kill apiece. You cannot go through 10 rounds of action with 2 of your players getting a combined 2 kills. It's a glorified 3v5 at that point, and no matter how good of a performance you're going to see from Rexon, or from Filthy, or from Benji, you're not going to be able to make up for the fact that you have to carry 2 of your players whose utility work is fine, but they need to be providing more value than that.
And we just saw Butters on screen there, and he had his little victory, whoo. Kixie said something like Butters toasting them up and soured them down. I don't know. It's a very Kix comment. How do you think Butters played? He seemed to be a standout for them.
I think I said slathered them down. It's because you.
Okay, maybe you said sourdough. I don't know.
I said I wanted
messed it
sourdough, but
slathering butter.
Okay,
Yes.
So
sorry.
slather butter is to put butter on bread.
Yeah. I messed that up. Sorry.
You know what I didn't know is before I moved away from the Bay Area is that they have a specific sourdough here, and I remember living in Poland and I can't find this sourdough anywhere. Anyway, I came back and now I'm having sourdough every day. So
we digress.
Yeah, the way that played, I think that Butters obviously was a standout performer there. It looked overall mostly like the Last Dance was much more comfortable on Villa. I think that's the main takeaway for me. There was a lot of uncertainty on the side of Rentfree, and even it looked like at a certain point there, they started playing their rounds with kind of just recklessly. They would go for these kind of train clears, because there's a lot to clear on Villa. What they do is they'd have 1 drone, and then 3 people following up that drone on a roam clear to try and hunt people down, hunt the roamers down. And sometimes that would work, actually. It was the most convincing round we saw for that match was in favor of Rentfree, because they did that. And then other times it would fall flat. So to me, that seems like the sort of strategy that you bring out because you're not sure what to do.
Okay. Well, we got map 2 ahead of us, or what was Intero's joke? We haven't even seen the match start.
Yeah, we haven't loaded in yet.
Yeah, that's
Soon.
right. Well, we're going to see who's going to take it, Rentfree or The Last Dance. We'll be right back after this short break. We'll see you in a little bit.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Could this be our very final map between these two teams to determine who comes out of US Challenger League for this stage on top? So far, the edge is in the Last Dance favor. They're up 1-0. It's been nothing but net for them. I'm Intero, this is Kickstar, and well, we've got Coastline up next. For how these teams played on Villa, what do you anticipate from Coastline?
Ree's going to play better on Coastline, I believe. That thing that they were doing with the kind of like the choo-choo train clear of the roamers is going to be way more effective on a map like Coastline, in my opinion. You need those surgical strikes. You need that assertiveness on this map. There's a lot less potential for those spread out kind of roam clears. Usually it's block off one lane, hit the other one. So if Rentfree can bring that kind of consolidated, concentrated, precise clear to this map, I think, and keep their confidence when they were doing that, and I think Rentfree's capable of that, then they'll do a lot better. I don't know that it's going to be enough for them to win, but they should do better.
Well, we'll find out. As somebody who is just strictly cheering for an enjoyable matchup, I would like to see Rentfree do better, but I mean, we're not always necessarily guaranteed to go late into the night. We talk about fragging potential and what a map like Coastline will bring. It will be an all-out brawl, as both of these teams are going to get very scrappy and possibly very sloppy. Right now, I mean, I think that gives an edge to the Last Dance. They've had their gunners be far more awake. They're actually able to get the kills they need. Rentfree's at a couple sleepers, and they're going to need the alarm to go off, and they're going to need to wake up. So far, the bans are Lion, Hibana, and Valkyrie. The last ban on Coastline isn't usually a Mira. It could be an Echo. It could be a Maestro. We've actually seen very limited Echoes so far, but the final ban is going to be Vigil. Interesting. So that is directly countering Rexon's roam play on defense.
It was very, very effective. Rexon was a big player in that first map. You may as well do everything you can to shut it down. With Jackal in play, they could have used him in theory, but is what it is. I mean, they are actually. There you go. We'll be using the Jackal. Okay. I think that's smart on Coastline. I talked about this in the last time we saw Coastline, actually earlier today. Jackal is one of the most powerful operators on this map. He and Capital both are very potent. You generally need to decide between the two, though. You can pick one of them, usually, because you need your other operators to bring more kit. Both of them are very targeted types of kit. One is good at dealing with anchors. The other one, good at dealing with roamers. You could argue that they're both versatile beyond that, though. Now, it is a kitchen defense here to start things off for the Last Dance. They've brought plenty of denial. Or interestingly, we'll have an Oryx of all operators. So that's neat and different. Didn't they make a change to him recently? With like a tiny little patch that they released? I swear they did.
Yes, they did. So the changes that they made to our muscly friend Oryx is that he doesn't lose all of his charges when he breaks through a wall any longer. He used to, once at 3 charges and break through the wall, lose all of them and have to start again. He doesn't. He just loses 1. That's coupled with the change they made a while back where he only loses 5 HP instead of 10 per time that he breaks through the wall. But then they also tweaked him and made it so that he gains charges slower. So the trade-off is that he doesn't burn through all of them right away when he breaks a wall, but if he does use all 3 of them, it takes longer for him to get them back.
That's smart. There's also, I think they also changed his recovery time. It used to be different.
Yes.
When you went through a wall, it would take longer to recover, and then when you hit a person, it would take less time to recover, and they equalized that. I think it was like 1 second after a wall, 0.7 seconds after a person, and I think they equalized it to 0.5 seconds. I'm not looking at these notes, so don't quote me on that. But they should both be faster now.
Oh no, it's too late. I'm gonna quote you.
Oh no, unfortunate.
All right, well, first round, first defense here on map number 2 with Rentfree looking to claw back after the Last Dance took map number 1. It was the Last Dance's map, so they won their own map. Congratulations. It's going to be a kitchen defense, and the stack up right now from the attackers is over towards the service doorway. Rexon is going to be playing on that spot with a Thatcher nearby of Thomas, and Drip above will do what you expect Sledges and Bucks to do, which is take control of Master. Just below him is Brainbow, that's the pulse. He can have the information with the cardiac sensor, and it looks like he's sitting on it trying to give some calls, at least from our perspective. And there it goes, it pulls out. And he's trying to figure out who's above him. He'll have a C4 for good measure as well, and you best hope that if you're an attacker, you don't end up getting an explosive demise.
Looks like they're just trying to cut off rotation, go for a smoke plant. Smoke number 1, smoke number 2. Filthy attempting to plant soon, I would expect, but the gas can's just pushing him off. The push into bathroom is stopped though by Young, knocking down Rexon. Filthy finally able to go for that plant as the smokes are being placed elsewhere. Drip will go down though, above, and that allows Spades top floor control. It's a 3v3 though, and this is an opposed plant just by service entrance, which allows Filthy to clean up the push from Butters. Another for Filthy in the site. It's all Spades. He's got little to no chance. If I were him, I probably would have run into that Claymore. He'll move on. Deliberately, I mean. With very little HP, he's going to challenge 3 players and have no chance. Another kill for Filthy, and we'll see Rentfree take round number 1 on Coastline.
You're going to need everybody to show up if you're Rentfree, and Filthy so far has answered that call. We also had Drip get on the board, if I remember correctly, with the very first pick of the round and the very first pick of this map. And Filthy put in a good performance on Villa, so it's good to see that he's still up to his usual tricks. So that's round number 1 in the books. Really well played from service. They had the control above. Spades was just a little bit too slow, I want to say, and just wasn't able to get in and make his presence be as felt as I think he'd wanted. He does outduel Drip, but at that point, the execute has already gone down. There's no way that he's going to be able to get to the bomb site, and they get the diffuser down amidst the smoke, and then they get out of dodge as quickly as they can. So that was rhythmic and like clockwork from Rentfree. That's how you attack that bomb site when smokes are on the board. If there's no WMI and there's no ADSs or they've all been cleared out, you can get an awful lot of value for those smokes. Not only can you try to plant in them, but then you can also cut off those lines of sight and force the defenders to have to push on in. That's what Brainbow did, and there was Rexon waiting very patiently. Before Rexon gets dropped, Drip gets the kill from above. With that said, we turn our sights from kitchen to the double bars. This bomb site is going to play out very differently. Amira is available, she'll get brought, and Young on those anchor players, he'll be giving calls to the rest of the team. Expect to see some offsite presence from the Last Dance, presumably over towards Cool Vibes, maybe even above that, and you could even see a hold inside of kitchen or the main lobby.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb. Attackers have
I like the
dropped
Mira
bomb diffuser.
being available here.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Both a Jackal and a Mira. This is their map if you didn't know. Came out at the same time. Neat. You don't usually see both of them available.
No, you don't see both of them available. You don't see them both in use. This is we're back in Operation Velvet Shell.
Yeah, it's a throwback here.
That it is.
Now, the mirror window being set up to hold on to service entrance, Spades will be the player to play that. Kilo also needs to assist by holding on to reception. If he doesn't, then you'll see Spades get flanked. He's doing just that, wasting the time. Thomas takes down Spades, though, on the mirror window, so that didn't work out for the Last Dance. And talked about the confidence and the assertiveness that we were hopeful or to see from Rentfree, and so far it has been represented. You can see
Better yet, Thomas and Drip have found the score sheet within 2 rounds. So
yay.
Much better pace than we'd seen on Villa. The stack up again from Rentfree, just as the previous round, was over towards the service doorway, and that's where I think they wanted to continue to keep control of, but I don't know if this cross is being held by Kilo. He's found one target so far on Benji. The Zofia is gone. She is going to be paramount to clear out some of that utility. Rexon kills Young before Young had killed Filthy, or just after Young had killed Filthy. So you lose the star of the show and your only set of smokes, frankly, which on a bomb site like this can actually have quite a profound effect, especially over towards that Sunrise bar door / mudroom, which is where Brainbow is playing off of. Now, this is really risky that he's peeking behind the shield and taking this fight. He doesn't need to do this. So he can just stay there in that position and hang on, especially since he has a shotgun and a C4. Allow them to come to you. As long as they don't have any explosives to take out your deployable shield, you don't need to move a muscle.
Only a minute left here. Last Dance being very patient. As you mentioned, they don't need to move a muscle. Got the mirror window to assist in the blue bar hold. We're just taking an aggressive angle. This is kind of dangerous. He knows Thomas is inside of the main lobby because he's nading his teammate. Ooh, bad timing there from Butters. He was on that angle and would have gotten that kill. Unfortunate for the defense. And because of that, Kilo will be swept up by Thomas. Yeah, would have been nice if Butters stayed on the angle, but obviously he can't know that. He's not able to read minds. Thomas did incur a lot of damage, though, so he'll die easily in the next fight. With only 15 seconds left, the attack really needs to go, go, go. C4 in the hands of Rainbow. Down goes Drip. It's all on Rexton, really. Thomas put to low HP. Oh, down goes the C4. Thomas from behind. Big work, but Butters in the 1v1 versus Rexton. It's Ash versus Wamai, and Rexton will out. Rentfree takes the round, and they're second in a row.
Yeah, the guns are very firmly alive right now for Rentfree, and they are setting a great tempo with pushing this site. A couple mistakes from the last dance, but other than that, I mean, it was a pretty even round right to the bitter end, and it was characterized by good individual efforts. This is something that we've talked about before, with both of these teams having strong players with tons and tons of experience. Much closer than the previous round. Even though you were able to get the opening pick and hold a numbers advantage, it wasn't enough for the last dance, as Rentfree were just better again. And it's going to chase the last dance to another bomb site. They went to the kitchen, they weren't successful. They went to the double bars, they weren't successful. Now they're going to try and line up their shot in billiards and hookah and see if it works out any better. But right now, it's been a very attacker-heavy coastline, and I don't see that letting up anytime soon.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Me neither. Neither. Me neither.
Neither, whatever.
By attackers.
Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato. Kilo, Kylo.
Are you okay?
Good.
All right.
10 seconds
Yeah.
left.
We'll go to the billiards defense here.
5 seconds to insertion.
Nothing real special to talk about in terms of operator selection. Oryx is there once more. No, one thing that's weird about Oryx is the reason you bring him is because somebody thinks that they can frag with him. Or you've got like a very specific flank route set up, right? The latter is easily countered if it's known to the enemy. And that's why bringing him is so rare. You really have to rely on the player who says, yeah, I'm going to bring Oryx and I'm going to frag to actually do that. It's not a guaranteed result. So that's why we don't see him all that much. Butters has definitely been picking it up, though, this match.
Butters has been the real standout, I would say, for the last dance. And I mean, on a team where no real player jumps to mind as being by far and away the best, obviously it's been good for Butters. And as I say that, he just gets beaten real hard. Jabated by the drone? That's Jabates in the chat. And then he gets punished by the buck by the office doorway. Another opening pick for Rentfree. Good lord, they have been so good at getting those through these two maps, even though we're still a little bit of the ways into Coastline. There's a lot more to go and things can change up, but Rentfree's opening has been impeccable on both attack and defense thus far.
Rexton opening up holes from below. That's going to force the players off of B. There was somebody there for a moment, but Rainbow will fall back. Buck from below is going to do a lot of work over here. Able to push Young away. But he's got support from Spades downstairs, and well, there's no one to stop him from picking up a double kill. Down go Benji and Thomas. Will stay in security hall on low HP, likely to die soon to Filthy, who's flanking him in just a second. Filthy might actually think he slipped away. That's curious. He's just given away his position. Is he going to peek this correctly? The answer is yes, but Filthy does take some damage in that engagement, which is huge for Spades, who just got way more value out of that fight than anyone should have.
So a minute to go, and we're back to even numbers for both teams, 3v3, but for the last dance, they have been unsuccessful on the two bomb sites they've gone to. Will they find anything more in hookah? They're not in a bad setup, but I mean, the time is definitely on their side, and the push from the Rentfree is going to come from the Aqua side. Both Rainbow and Kilo are arm in arm. back onto drones. You can hear as they'll drone out the back of the hookah bomb site. 2 drones in fact. Young will toss out a toxic canister just to try and bide some time onto Cool Vibe stairs. He's got 2 left. And in perfect timing, 15 seconds. Throw it against the wall if you want. It'll do some damage to both Filthy and Drip. Rexon is going to go for the late flank, and he might actually get a free pick onto Young here as he tries to flash out Kilo. There's one for Drip onto Young, and now Rexon is on the hunt. A pre-fire in. Brainbow is down, so it'll be Kilo, and he gets punished by Rexon. Rentfree look simply indomitable on Coastline. They are far more practiced and far more comfortable. They're winning their gunfights, and they're executing miraculously. They're so far up 3-0.
Thomas is going wild, man. Have you been seeing program?
Mm-hmm.
He's going wild.
Yeah, and he has every right to be pumped up.
Yeah, he's very happy about these rounds. So the expected result is basically unfurling here. This is pretty much what we predicted. Rentfree is looking a lot more confident on Coastline. They've got a lot more freedom here. They're winning their collapses in the dying seconds of a round. That should have been a last dance round, I'll be honest. That should have been them able to take that one. Everything was going their way in terms of the time, in terms of the positioning. But somehow still, Rentfree wins it in the end. They just run in the last few seconds and win. So I guess, my respect for Rentfree for managing that. Last Dance is looking like they're losing control here. I'm guessing this is going to be map number 3. I'm not really seeing a massive comeback when the Last Dance switches to attack. Based on what we're witnessing, this just seems like it's going to go to Cafe, which is map number 3. We're not there yet, of course. It's only 3 rounds in. There's still comeback potential here for Last Dance. We could see this end 3-3 and then everything change. But as it stands, I'm not seeing it as very likely.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Well, it's funny because the Last Dance match that we saw on broadcast, which was against Joe Esports, or Joe Up on Playday number 2, the Last Dance won 2-0 on both Clubhouse and Oregon. Cafe was the decider for that one, and we didn't end up seeing it. It seems like far more of a certainty that we're going to see it right now. Unless something dramatically changes, but I have no reason to be confident as Spades jumps out and takes Rexon, but can't complete the transfer onto Benji, but almost a 2-piece. This will line up for Benji to take an engagement down towards security, but we'll think better of it after he sets down the Claymore. He was trying to fire through multiple walls on Kilo, but you can't quite do that. The bullets don't work that way.
That's some good early aggression there from Space. I actually like that run out. It did more damage to Benji too, so that's worth keeping in mind. Benji will get a second kill though onto Butters. That's not good. That is real bad there for the Last Dance. Benji's on low HP and he just got one of the highest value kills he could have onto a player. Yeah, he's playing Orcs, but onto a player that's been really fragging out through the series. Not as much on Coastline, but I mean, look at the scoreline for Last Dance. You can say that about any of these players. Kilo will take down Benji. That's a good kill. It did cost him some HP, though. Benji had a huge value round there. He got 2 kills and almost a third. So no matter how you look at it, Benji playing well. The entry from Filthy, he just doesn't care. He'll run in and die in a hail of bullets. One more on the follow-up, though, and Thomas is able to get that entry. It's all on Kilo now. He has to pick up 2. Both of them still in the sight. It's Drip to finish things off. Rentfree with the rush in and the out.
It was a very brazen play by Filthy, but he was getting droned on in, and then the rest of the troops were right there by. I cannot get over how well coordinated and precise Rentfree have been. They know exactly where they need to strike, and they're doing an excellent job of it. And time again, we see that the greatest asset that Rentfree has right now happens to be 10 assets, and those are the drones. Every single time there is a successful engagement from Rentfree, there is a drone somewhere in that proximity. They have been meticulous with being able to drone out well. Filthy got guided in by a drone, and yeah, he went down. But then there was an immediate recovery because you hop off that drone and then you just bull rush into the site. And at that point, you've caused so much chaos by Filthy doing that, as I think he tossed in a smoke and it was answered by a toxic canister of its own. He was in a very powerful position in the middle of the bomb site.
Attackers need to locate
The rest of that, well, a lot of it was summed up by Spades, and then the time that was wasted down in office as well. And then losing Butters was a huge blow to the Last Dance, but they were still in it until the site rush. Third time's a charm here on Kitchen, maybe, as the Last Dance are obviously flustered by this. They looked so confident on Villa, and they were indisputably the better team. But so far, Rentfree through 4 rounds has already won this half, and are looking to do more with it. This is a bad spot to be in if you're the Last Dance, but I mean, you're going to be changing on to attack, so hopefully you'll be able to get a round or two. The real question is going to be, how much more bleeding before you can effectively swap?
5 seconds remaining. Attacker's objective is to defuse the bomb.
I mean, 2, as he said. Really. If this ends up 5-1, then I give it to the last, or to Rentfree to take this map and push us to the last. What was I trying to say? Rainbow trying to roam over by Sunrise Bar. It looks like it's going to be a top 4 clear. He'll be opened up on from above if he lingers here too long. I'm guessing he's just trying to delay for a little bit of time, though. Jacko going upstairs. Be pretty easy roam clear. I imagine also that Rentfree is going to clear out the entirety of the top 4 before doing their work. Or maybe just over by the VIP side too. You can safely do that. If you get a 90 drone, you can just clear into VIP, clear over to projector, set up a drone, as I said, on 90 underneath the default cam, and then have somebody watch that while you open up above. You don't really need to clear out the whole thing if you don't want to. It's just dangerous if you leave that opportunity open to the attack, or rather the defense, pardon me.
This is very slowly paced out, but as I'd noted about the drone work, it's no surprise to see, once again, Rentfree being meticulous with it. But it's hard to drone through multiple levels, and Benji will find that out the hard way with Butters down in main lobby getting the first pick. This was desperately needed by the Last Dance, as they'd gotten the first pick in the previous round, though that was on the trade that was created by Spades when he hopped on out. Rexon very nearly takes out Butters on a pre-fire. But what is Butters? Well, he's a doc, and he's going to get himself right back up to full HP. More pressure will now go on that lobby side of things, as they're just droning away, and what a kill from Rexon onto Butters. This was say the word for me, I can't say
Methodical.
it. There's the word! I can't say it for whatever reason. It's like all the people who say aluminum and aluminium.
I have one of those. I have a couple words like that, yeah.
What is it?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I have them. I'll try to think about
Methodical.
it. Yeah. There you go.
I just want to say methodological.
Methodological?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I get it. Method illogical, though, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely illogical. This is the best opportunity, by the way, that the Last Dance has to win their first round, but no, Spades. He gets traded out, though. There's one for Rexon, and it's a 2v2. So you'll rely a lot on Young to be able to anchor down this bomb site. 30 seconds for the remainder of Rentfree to find their way on over. They had the diffuser in hand. That'll be the Jackal. He's got both smokes up as well. So you better hope that the ADSs from Spades are no longer in play. If they are, you've got 3 flashbangs from Rexon to try to wear through them. 15 seconds left in the last toxic canister expended from Young. A flashbang will go off behind him. Won't net anything, so that's opportunity to throw down the smoke. Both sights from Last Dance, they're fixed in the same position. Playing behind this deployable shield, you're going to have to go for the plant, and Filthy will do just that. So it's going to be on Rexon to shut down the play. Young's going to sneak on in. A beautiful shot. He's so clutch. He takes out Rexon, but Filthy's there, and he won't win the fight against Young. A celebratory bob up and down, and Last Dance will find their very first round. He might not be in professional leagues doing these clutches, but Young will do it in any league he plays in, and he goes right back to the jig that he was doing on the corpse of his enemies. What a retake. The Last Dance get their first round.
Well done there to Young for the quad. And the disabled. Those will look good on his stats, I bet. Okay, that round, I think, could have been a Rentfree round. They were in 2v2, no gas canisters left on the smoke. If they were a little bit more assertive, I think, with their play, maybe if Rexon had been able to do something in the bathroom, we might have seen a little bit of a different story. Came very close, though, and I have to commend them for that. 4-1, if they get the 4-2, then the Last Dance can recover here. Not the end of the world. A big part of that round for me was the clear above and how easy it was. They lost one player on that clear upstairs, and then after that, it was just free range for Rentfree. The execution of the site, while it was low on players, was still a comfortable one, I'd say, and could have gone Rentfree's way.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, back to the double bars they will go. And what was, I'm trying to think back now, what was the double bars take that we saw?
10 seconds to go.
Oh, right, it was the 1v1 that came down to Rexon winning against the Wamaya Butters by where the mirror window almost went down from Young.
Heading out to the fuse.
Yeah, that one almost went the way of Last Dance too. But Butters lost the fight, I think. It's Rexon, right?
Yeah, Rexon won the fight. He came from, they were doing a little dance inside of the A-ball.
The Last Dance?
Yeah, that's the joke. Good
There's a mirror
God.
window set up inside of the kitchen. Nobody playing it. Maybe it's just they don't want to rotate late?
The Phantom Mirror.
Bomb has been located.
Maybe they're trying to delay Rentfree? I don't know.
Could be.
I think they set up the mirror window, and then the person who was supposed to play it didn't get there in time, and then the bullets started flying into kitchen, and they're like, nah, never mind.
Oh, there's
also
an
be the
opening
bait.
pick that you need. Right on to Rexon.
Yeah. That's big. So Spades gets his revenge. Wahaha.
3 opening duels. 1 for the Last Dance so far. And Spades is on the hunt. Cue the Jaws music. Jackie's glass is very appropriate right now.
I can't actually do that, can I? Like forever. I actually don't know I don't know where it goes from there because I've never watched Jaws.
You just watch movies, please, and Space Jam,
I don't know. It didn't seem like it was very good.
and The Office.
Is it Jaws is like satirical, right? Like it's funny because it's
No,
bad.
it's a scary movie about sharks.
Oh,
Sharks in danger, man. Anyway,
sharks aren't scary though.
focus on this. I'm Team Shark. All right, Jackal Track coming on in as the Last Dance find themselves up by 1. That's immediately gone. Spades have been discovered. He pushed the advantage that he had with that Jackal ping, but he gets found out nonetheless. Kilo drops onto Thomas with the Alda. Now Drip sustaining a lot of damage, but he's able to just weather the storm, out-dueling Young before he gets gunned down as he barrels through Courtyard. That's it for Kylo, or Kilo rather, as there's 2 kills coming in from Rentfree. It's Butters alone again in Sunrise Bar. 40 seconds left, and he's got a lot of work to do, Michael. He'll watch Cool Vibe stairs and then patrol over towards Mudroom. A pre-fire and a rotate as he'll get on out of there. 30 seconds left. The ejected mirror window allows him to see around it. Noise being made at the doorway to kitchen. And it looks like it might be a push through that mudroom. This is a great spot. They're going to set him in a crossfire. He pre-fires into the corpse of the IQ,
Seconds left.
but obviously already dead. Cannot land the shots onto Benji, and he's just better. That's another round for Rentfree, and that's the half.
Well played to Rentfree. 5-1 for the first half. And that's, in my opinion, a pretty unwinnable prospect there for Last Dance. So we're probably gonna go to map number 3, Cafe. But at least we'll go there quick, based on this scoreline. Let's see here. That last round, kitchen clear, gets shut down. First thought is it should be a Last Dance round after they lose the, I want to say Rexon inside of the kitchen. And then following that pick, everything fell apart for the Last Dance. Every rotation, every kill went the favor of Rentfree. I don't know. There wasn't really like a clear
Protect your bombs from
execution
being
path
used by
necessarily. Most of the kills actually came offsite, interestingly. So
attackers have discovered the
kind of a weird
location of
round.
the bomb.
Awkward, even.
Look at the stat line, by the way, of Rentfree, and there hasn't really been any poor performers. They've all been within the lockstep. Can't say the same of the Last Dance, as Rainbow is, well, he's got a goose egg. You'll need to break that at some point.
Yeah.
On attack, very likely. Now, here's the hill that you have to climb if you're the Last Dance. We are used to seeing a lot of 4-2 score lines, 3-3 score lines. That's fine. 5-1s, far more uncommon. And on a map like Coastline, one that Rentfree obviously favors. They picked it for a reason. They must be quite strong on it. Last Dance don't seem to be that comfortable at all.
No, they
I
look
guess
very
I guess you go
uncomfortable.
for that if you're Benji.
I mean, he's brimming with confidence, Parker. I mean, he didn't land any shots. There was nothing to shoot. But brimming with confidence.
Well,
Well,
there's
He-
lots of
Oh.
noise, but there's a burst on in, and Benji just swats them all away. One for Rexon, and this one is going to be over. All but over, but the crying. There's the Dokkaebi phone call still ringing, even though Dokkaebi is cold and in the ground. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and Kilo is in a 1v4.
Kilo clutch question mark?
I mean, I know it's a question, Michael, but I'm going to say nah.
Yeah, me too.
Unless we see one of the finest clutches that has ever been broadcasted on this Rainbow Six channel.
Or if Rentfree starts throwing.
But they
No.
won't. What a beautiful shot from Rexon. He's hitting his shots. Tommy says, it's so easy. What do you say? He just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Match point, Rentfree. They are keen on sending us to Cafe quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they Last Dance that round. They're just like, heck it, guys. Basically lost already. Let's just go for it. They went for it. They lost it. Done deal. Not much else to say, really. Pretty just interesting round. Nice attempt, though. I have to admire the fact that the Last Dance has not given up hope. So, we're going to hookah billiards for the potential last round for this map. The likely last round for this map. 6-pick off of the Frost into the Wamai. You do that to get your enemies thinking you have a Frost, but then you don't, though. Ooh. So they're going to be looking down underneath windows when they vault windows, but you don't have a Frost.
Attackers
Ooh.
need to locate and defuse bombs.
Ooh. Do the same thing with Capcan. Do you think that's
Ask
more
Butters
valuable?
about Capkin.
Ooh.
Well, no, he was good with him.
Yeah,
Wasn't an
he
insult.
was
Butters was the man.
Yeah, but it just reminded me of the last kill Butters got on Villa, and I just with the Capcan trap post-mortem. It was the first thing
Yeah,
upon
I
it.
remember that. On the Benji.
Yeah, it's just funny.
A valiant effort from Benji, but he doesn't look down and ends up getting killed by a trap at his ankles, roughly the height of a standard Chihuahua.
Attackers are heading out.
Is that a Chihuahua I hear, Michael? Do you hear that?
Rah, rah. I can't do bark noises.
That was those were terrible.
Yeah,
But I commend the effort.
thank you.
Rexon is looking to strike a dagger into the heart of Last Dance. No,
Guys, I
not
got a
Rent
gold
Free.
star. Gave me a gold star.
I gave you a gold star.
It's a
You
little
get a
lopsided.
participation trophy.
It says an attempt was made. That's what it says. There's nothing else on it though, and it's kind of uneven.
Look at how aggressive Rexon is being, waiting to drop inside a bathroom. And if you are the Jackal of Brainbow, do you go for it?
No,
Probably not. Yeah.
not without teammates.
Well, Thomas without an H is going to take some damage. We used to call him Tomas. It's just called Tommy. Spades will push up. He's getting droned in by Young, and now Brainbow will join the party. So the single drone will guide in the two members of the Last Dance through theater. Rexon was playing at the top of the stairs over by luggage, but he's not going to linger. He instead heads for security, and he's going to move likely through the entire portion of the map to try to get back to Cool Vibe Stairs. As the Last Dance now have control of Hall of Fame, Penthouse, and Theater. They've also managed to take control of 90 Hallway.
It's good control to have. Can definitely leverage an attack into the site. Looks like another attempted rush here from Last Dance, maybe into Aqua later in the round. Don't have to rush in the beginning of the round, mind you. They're gonna creep up in luggage to try and get to Aqua. Cam will spot out the Doke. Phone call. Buzz buzz. Answer your phones. Aggressive play here from the Smoke a Drip, and he'll get one. Down goes Rainbow. No refrag. That could be it. That could be the last little piece of damage done to the Last Dance's armor, and it's added to when Kilo gets eliminated. With 50 seconds left, it seems like the Last Dance is falling apart. They have but 2 players against Rentfree's 5.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
You know, it's like my father always says, you can't dance if you got 2 left feet, and it looks like they got 5 of them on the Last Dance's side. Looks like we're going to Cafe, barring a miracle from Spades in a 1v5, and there hasn't been a flawless round just yet. But now there has. Thomas says it's so easy. It's too easy. Let's go to Cafe as I readjust my mic, and it sounds like an old man's back getting out of bed in the morning. Congratulations to Rentfree on their second map.
I'm representing my gold star.
You had a gold star. That's
Yeah.
your...
It's not an actual PNG.
There was an
Yeah,
attempt.
It's not an actual PNG, but I earned my gold star. Parker gave it to me.
See, I thought that was production doing that, but it's you doing it yourself.
Yeah. He gave me a gold star, guys, so I have to have it. Let's bring in Jackie. Make sure she can participate in this conversation.
It was haikus. It was
I
haikus
want a
and now
gold
this.
star.
I can't give you a gold star, Jackie. Only Parker can give out the gold stars.
Okay, I want a gold star that's shape funny that says there was an attempt
Parker?
specifically.
You have to make
So
an
what do I
attempt.
need to do?
That fails spectacular.
That makes sense.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't think I can make an attempt at that Chihuahua noise. I mean, there's no way I'm going to beat Kicks on that one. But, all right, we got our highlights up right now. So let's talk about map 2. Rentfree battles back. Kicks, TLD losing 1-7.
No,
We
I
don't
mean, it
see
was a
that
really
often,
one-sided
so-
affair. I suspected that this might be the case. I knew that Rentfree's playstyle would be much more favorable on Coastline. I even said so at the beginning, but I didn't really think it would be that one-sided. I'll be honest with you. It definitely seemed like the Last Dance lost all of their confidence somewhere in there.
Yeah, and Taro, how do you think map 3 is going to play out?
I mean, I was
who do you
all in
think's
on
gonna take
Rent-Free,
it?
and I feel like I'm vindicated to a certain extent. So I'm gonna stay with the Rent-Free
Yeah.
train here. But I do worry about a map like Cafe. It will play a bit more like Villa. It'll be a nice blend of both of the maps, I think, because Cafe, there's more playmaking potential. There's definitely a lot you can do if your gunners are hitting their shots, which clearly now for Rent-Free, they are. The Last Dance is the one that went quiet on that front. But there is that fabled checklist we talk about all the time, and it's very present on Cafe. There's a lot of things you can do on defense that can thwart the attackers, and I honestly think as long as they can mentally rebalance themselves, then I think that this is going to be a tight one. But if the Last Dance goes in demoralized, Rent-Free's hot right now, man. There's that Rent-Free, they're so hot right now. So I'm gonna stick with my Rent-Free pick.
My goodness.
Like,
They got the momentum behind them for sure. And Kicks, it looks like you found proper placement for your star. I saw that you were messing around with it a little bit. It looks fantastic. Congratulations again. That's a huge honor.
thank you,
that
Parker.
Intero
I'd like
has
to thank
bestowed
the
upon
Academy
you. But,
as well. My parents. I never knew my dad, but my mom's pretty sick. And everybody who's supported me up until this point. It's been a really good journey, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, everyone. And congratulations to Rentfree, by the way, for taking that map.
On that note, wonderful speech, Kicks. We're just going to go to a break. We got map 3 next. We'll be right back.
Well, it's that time of night, everybody, and I say night because it is 10:21 on the eastern seaboard. Obviously, earlier, the more western you move. I'm Intero, this is Kickstar, and we are going into map number 3 of our U.S. Challenger League Finals. The Last Dance did an excellent job on map number 1, and then they completely fell apart on map number 2, and it was total dominance from Rentfree. Cafe Dostoevsky is the scene for our third map, and Michael, what should we expect?
Well, Cafe is a much more strategic map than Coastline. I think this is going to be more balanced between the two teams. There's definitely an element of aggression and being able to win a round and thus a map over just spontaneous peaks and winning those fights. So I think this is going to be a balanced map. A big part of this is going to come down to how well practiced specifically the Last Dance is on Cafe. This is not the map that the Last Dance picked. This is the final map. This is where we just ended up. So if Rentfree is feeling it just as they were on map number 2, we could see this be really quick. But if the Last Dance are able to mentally reset, have a decent strat book on this map, then I'm expecting this one to go to all the way to OT and be really tight.
Well, wouldn't that just be the fitting conclusion as we have the qualifiers on Saturday, and then we are done for quite a while. Rentfree starting on defense, therefore they get the very first ban, and it will be a Thatcher that is removed from play. Safe to say that this will be a Jackal unless we see a hard breach go. But no, it's Jackal.
It's the Jackal. Brr, brr, brr. That makes sense considering how well he played on Coastline. Last Dance must have been feeling that, and we can't really tell.
That crash.
What happened?
You didn't hear it. I just dropped something.
You dropped something? Yeah, no, your noise gate caught it.
It's very, very loud.
What was it? What did you drop?
I will never tell because it was breakable.
Oh no. Okay. All right, Linus. Well, we've got Valkyrie banned out next. The last one will be Amira. Now, we've got a solid lineup of bans here. Nothing too crazy. Valkyrie makes sense on this map especially. Echo's going to be in play still. That's big. I think this is going to be a really defender-sided Cafe. The main reason I suggest this is the Thatcher ban. Not necessarily in relation to exclusively hard destruction, but also in opening up mute jammers that'll be placed commonly, or taking out shields and pixel spot, for example. A Thatcher EMP can cut through all of that, whereas when you're dealing with that without a Thatcher EMP, you just have to dump loads of utility into it.
I was going to make a joke, like a pun, but I'm not making it.
I think I know what joke you were going to make.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, kitchen defense for Rentfree. They'll be starting down in the old bomb site that was known as Kitchen Bakery, but you ever noticed how many kitchens there are in these maps? Almost every map has a kitchen.
Yeah, there are a ton of kitchens. I don't know why.
Well, because people got to eat.
I guess that is reasonable, but I don't know. I do not know.
5 seconds to go.
Parker, give me your best Star Wars no. Your best Darth Vader no.
Defender exposed.
Oh. After quoted Spades 2020 5 seconds ago.
Defender has left.
Captain's log. Rexon just got the first kill.
Yeah, Rexon and Spades have been on each other through this whole series. It's always one
Rexon
killing
in
the
particular
other.
has just been so good. So good.
Rexing is wrecking his opponents.
No.
He's doing it, though.
Okay.
He's also setting up for a run out.
Rexon is just going to continue to play as well as he has, at least from what we see now that Vigil and him are once again reunited. He was originally that Ashe, Twitch, Jaeger main, and then teams would ban out Jaeger and he would be in a rough spot. But he let Thomas run the Jaeger for a while now. It's going to be Benji playing that operator. Rexon's liking the Vigil a bit too much. And on a map like this, with a Mozzie in play, and if there were to be a mute in play, well, you'd get a lot of value out of this Vigil. just having the Mozzie alone is going to make it all that much more challenging for the Last Dance to be able to collect information on Rexon's location. The good news is that because this map is as linear as it is, if he's on that third floor, you're not going to detect him on the first floor. That at least narrows it down just a tiny, tiny bit. Anyway, Rexon lays in wait over by dining. Filthy, I'm assuming, tries to swing and gets punished by Butters as some of the walls been opened up, as the presence from the Last Dance is going to be over in the bakery side of things. They'll have to watch for yokai drones, and it looks like they just found one. And then missed opportunity, but some more damage done from Butters. Oh, 3 kills that he picks up inside a prep. Now you've got that presence from above of Rexon, who can spot one, but he just misses the opportunity to take Butters down. 1 minute remaining, and a great shot from Drip, as there goes Butters. 3 kills all he'll get.
Rexon's still alive. I'd say this is still winnable for the defense. Drip's going to incur a lot of damage from Kilo. Rainbow going for the plant. Rexon getting into engagement. Plant can be denied by the yokai drone, but he misses the jump up, and oh no, Plant down. Young will also get Rexon, meaning Drip in a 1v3. He's got 2 on low HP, but it's post-plant, which is nearly unwinnable in this kind of a scenario. A 3-way crossfire, 2 by the sandbags. There's 1 down, the second's still there. The player in bakery needs to assist, but Young in without him. And the Last Dance will take the round.
Very close as those spam pings were coming in, and you just need to instinctively pre-fire that. You still had one other player from the Last Dance inside of the bakery, and I believe that was the Zofia that was still there. So that was your insurance, I guess you could call it, and that was Kilo's role previously. So a failed attempt at kitchen, and a lot of that honestly does fall on the yokai drone, and that's just a frustrating aspect of the drone. If only there was devs. Listen to me here. Hello. Professional Rainbow Six commentator Parker and Taro Mackay speaking to you, developers at Ubisoft. You know what would be really great? If you could put, when you're on a yokai and it's on the ground, a little red or green light that allowed you to know if the yokai can go up or not.
Or
because so many times when you try to go up and it hits like a beam or something and then it comes back down, that's a waste and you have no way of knowing. So if you could do that, that'd be great.
yeah, because you can't even, the problem is you can't look directly up on a yokai drone. So it's not even a skill component. It's just like you either...
It's just luck is
yeah,
what
it's luck.
it is.
Yeah, you kind of just generally aim for the center of the room and hope for the best, but it really is luck. Being able to like have that notification, or alternatively, it might be a little bit more work. We don't know. We're not developers, but here's another idea. Maybe just make it so we can't press the spacebar and have it do anything unless it will get us onto the ceiling, right? So if it's gonna be a dud, then just don't even start it. Because we can just walk around spamming spacebar and then eventually get onto the ceiling. Or the noter, I don't like either one. I don't care, but it definitely would be a nice quality of life change. Not that Echo needs to be better, but it would still be nice. I mean, quality of life is different than balancing. Anyway, that's a nice pre-fire from Butters. And again, it's Butters and Rexon, man. Like, they won't let each other go.
They've been the stars of that show, and right now it's Rexon who's going to take
what?
His exact same spot. Benji assumes the position, and Butters punishes him, and that'll be it for 2 players from Rentfree, as they already trail, having surrendered that very first round. They're trying to defend the same bomb site. There's a third now, for God's sakes. Thomas on the same position, standing on a pile of corpses.
Rentfree, the same spot. That's, I mean, you're going to get known for that if you keep doing it. And if Thomas had died as well, then it would really be solidified in Siege meme history. 2 is forgivable, but the third, geez. Here comes the push on the Nomad. Down goes Young. You don't have to cross the threshold of the doorway and get detonated on the air jab. You can just kill him.
Smart play. Smart play by Thomas. Smart play.
Smart play.
Yokai drone is spotted by a drone, and now it'll need to be repositioned, as it's obviously you don't want to lose that. That'll put Drip with even less utility, though Echo is so strong, and well, you expect him to be able to carry the rounds. The setup right now from Rentfree is more so on the eastern side of the building. That tends to be over by the bar, over by the freezer, etc. Another kill from Butters. It's on to Filthy. He's on fire. 6 kills on Butters. What? A 4th kill as he removes the head, and he looks for one more onto Thomas. 50 HP is all that stands between him. Give him the ace. Give him every single one. More damage done. There it is. The ace for Butters. A sigh of relief as he leans back. Nobody's slowing this man down. They all just gave themselves, and Butters accepted them all, one by one, by one, by one, by one.
The sacrifice, I'm sure Butters is willing to accept. Really unfortunate round there for Rentfree. You know, actually, it's funny, Parker, because I was going to suggest at the beginning of this, I thought that Rentfree getting on defense first was actually going to be really good for them, because they would be allowed to. I think the aggression can more often work out for the defenders on this map. It's because of how Cafe plays, but it's so far worked really, really poorly, really amazingly poorly for Rentfree.
I mean, all right.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
Rex and
many bombs as
peeks.
they can.
It's a bad idea. He dies. Immediately, Benji's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the same thing. And then he dies. And then Thomas looks down
Located a bomb.
at the dead vigil. And he looks down at the dead Jaeger and he goes, you know what I think would be a good idea?
Going back to the site and playing safe.
Which he did, to be fair, but not after he tried to peek first.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know.
5 seconds left.
It's been a weird one for sure. Rentfree, what they're trying to do right now is keep up their aggression, because I think Rentfree recognizes that the only way they're going to be able to really like take the win is if they maintain their initiative, if they maintain their pacing, and it so far has cost Rentfree to attempt that 2 rounds. Now that doesn't mean it will continue to cost them. It just means it has so far. And a big part of that is Butters. I mean, look at the kill. Look at the kills. Look at the scoreline right now. Who do you think's doing this? You know?
Well, it's the Butters show right now.
Yep.
Smooth like butter.
And really, that's because, yeah, Rentfree are peaking. Yeah, Rentfree are getting aggressive. But they're getting aggressive specifically onto Butters. He always happens to be in the hot seat. And he's not missing. That could change. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen players so often get hot. And they'll get 10 kills, 11 kills, 12 kills, and you'll ooh and ah over their performance. And then for the next 6 rounds, they get 2 kills.
Yeah.
And things tighten up real fast when that happens. So
It's true.
it's possible. Don't be surprised if it does end up, if that does end up being the case. But for now, Butters obviously can take great pride in the work that he's done, as he has quite the kill count. This is a reading defense, by the way. We're 90 seconds in, Michael. Nobody's died yet. Filthy is now dead. I spoke too soon. Spades gets that first pick, and it's over towards Cocktail. And Cocktail presence is so vital, because then over top of that, you are very easily able to take control of reading. But Rexon is in this power play position, and he's looking to secure the kill onto Spades that he'd started earlier on. It's just him and Benji left, as the rest of Rentfree have been wiped out. Call it rent control. Through the ground, Benji tries to deal some damage, as Spades has now been picked back up. And the Last Dance have this 1-minute shootout with an advantage. Only problem is they don't have a hard breacher now. But Rexon decides to go back upstairs and retake that position. Now it's Benji's turn to do basically the same thing. He manages to catch the Nomad and punish Young, and he heads on over towards Cocktail before more damage is done to him. 75 HP. He's playing on white stairs, and he'll need to head on in. There's some spam pings, doing even greater damage as the carbine will just rattle away. Spade's still on 20 HP. It's Kilo on 75. He hears the Ash running down the stairs, and he gets lined up on. Kilo will finish it off. 3 in a row for the Last Dance. They prove that attack on Cafe is something they like doing.
That was an interesting round, because you would be forgiven for thinking that Rentfree was winning that round, when in fact it was the Last Dance who were winning it. The reason you would be forgiven for that is because the top floor roam for Rentfree worked out so well. They were anchoring inside a Cocktail. They repelled the attack upstairs by the main bar. It looked like everything was going well for the defense. However, all the while, Kilo's down in reading, tearing the anchors apart. So yeah, the roamers survive, but now they're the only survivors. And yeah, they got a kill or 2, but all the rest of their team dies downstairs. It's just, I mean, it was a very quick round. And I really, you know what? One thing we got to say, got to hand it to the Last Dance for persevering,
Defenders, protect your
for
bombs.
maintaining their mental state after Coastline. And look at the score now.
Located by attack.
3 attacks on Cafe in a row. Some scary stuff if I'm Rentfree.
I would be decently worried if I was Rentfree, and I think you just summed it up right there. They've not been able to get anything going. They've been able to kickstart this this offense that they need on defense. And when I say offense on defense, well, buckle up because it's pretty confusing. I'm well aware.
10 seconds to insert.
Anyway,
I
with
mean,
that said,
yeah.
this is tough. The wind was very much at the backs of Rentfree after Coastline. They gave such a absolute wallop to Last Dance, and then things have just gone right back to where they were after Villa.
Yeah, it seems... I mean, I talked about this a little bit. I think I'm like 3 for 3 on predictions so far, by the way. I talked about this a little bit in the interim between map 2 and map 3. This map should favor Last Dance just on the virtue of the map itself. It's a much more structured map. It does not afford the same opportunities that Coastline does. So it's just a little bit different playstyle. Counter threes, typical playstyle. And it's been, well, destroying Rentfree's typical playstyle. Despite, again, Last Dance being prepared here, I guess. Clash playing inside of Prep. Crossfire will be opened up. Once those Maverick holes are opened, the Clash won't be able to get aggressive on Prep, which will make him fall back.
Some shooting away being done by Butters. Last time they came onto this bomb site, he got 5 kills. They call that one an ace. And now they're trying to pressure Thomas as best as they can, but above him, Rexon will sit and just watch that breach. If you haven't droned out, well, then you're going to be in rough shape. You're not going to see him, and he's just going to hold trigger for now. But finally, somebody pressures that exact spot, and I think he's very keenly aware of the force that is Last Dance on Repel. So there goes Rexon. He's gone. This Clash is going to be able to bleed through most of the utility of the Last Dance, which is going to be a really strong position to be in if you're Thomas. Thomas, obviously very vocal, very communicative. As long as he stays in that spot and isn't challenged too hard, or the numbers for Rentfree continue to dwindle, then he should be good to ride out most of this round.
Maverick tricking successful. Sophia opens the wall. 1 minute left to go, though. Stun will knock the shield aside, and Spades is ready to kill Thomas, so there goes your Clash. Effectively useless in that round. Yokai drone still in play, though. Drip will be a valuable operator through this round. No IQ to detect the Yokai drone, so likely they will survive. Need to get the battery before you can make the entrance, so you'll take some damage as you enter in. Mark's coming out there onto the Kai deep in the site. That could have netted a kill, but no. Young, though, upstairs will get Benji, who is attempting to flank and use the holes above. Well done to Young. That's going to give a lot more freedom to the attackers as they enter in through the breach. Rexon will shut down Young, though, and reassuming the angle. Control from above. No longer can you go through the breach. Butters tries and fails. Drip from inside of the site, launches some artillery, and catches Kilo. It's all on Spades and Rainbow. They've got no choice but to rush in at this point with the Yokai drone still in play. But an attempted plant, that's the wrong call. It will be stopped. Here comes the Yokai drone, and on 000, well, Filthy will clean it up before we even get there. Rentfree take their first round.
Very convincing, and I mean, things started off so swiftly for the Last Dance. They take out the Clash relatively effortlessly. They don't need to worry too much about any counter punch. Down goes Thomas, and with that, you have the opening pick and a sizable lead in terms of numbers, given the fact that not only do you have a 5v4, but you've taken out probably one of the most annoying operators that's on that board, except for maybe the Echo. But then things just go from bad to worse, and a large part of that, Rexon. I guess after they got the pick on Clash, they decided to just focus on getting in through the breach. They didn't have anybody playing upstairs. Young got a pick onto Benji, and you figure, okay, at this point, now it's a 5v3. The Last Dance are just going to continue to ride it out. But Rexon wins his duel against Young and then immediately turns and guns down Butters, and with it, the chances of any form of comeback on that round was gone. And it was all Rentfree for the remainder of the round. And they carry it through, in large part because of poor clock management after the first couple deaths from the Last Dance. They did not recover from losing Young. They did not recover from losing Butters. They didn't have the pushing power they wanted. They couldn't deal with the Yokais, as you pointed out. There's no Thatcher because he's banned, and there's no IQ that was being played. So you're just going to have to use the sight test at that point. I mean, there's only 20 to 30 seconds left. It's pretty tricky to try to prioritize a Yokai over the players that are remaining. An excellent round from Rentfree. They're going to need a couple more of that if they want to stay in this, because so far the Last Dance has still built up quite a lead, and it'll be a cocktail bar defense up top. On the very top floor, for the first time, as Rentfree only has one more defense after this.
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
Why are you doing this? What does that mean? I'm not entertaining this.
You have any emeralds, Parker? No? Okay.
Are you making Minecraft noises? Okay.
I'm pretty good at it though, right?
That's not bad, actually. It's better than your Chihuahua.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so opening up the drop downs. This is solid pace here, about 40 seconds. A little ahead of the timing there. That's really bad for Thomas. He's dead. Not sure why he's rummaging around near Pixel, but gone he is, and thus the advantage lies with the Last Dance.
It's real bad. It's 4 opening deaths in a row for Rentfree. Now, it didn't matter in the last round. Thomas was finished off as the Clash, but the rest of the team's going to have to do some heavy lifting to try to make up for the fact that they are now in a 4v5. So everybody will shoulder just a tiny bit more of that weight. I mean, it's doable. They did it last round. Almost losing Filthy, though. That would be no bueno.
That is unfortunate. It's not kill, of course, but still, damage done is damage done. Filthy has a C4, so he might be able to get just an explosive kill before dying in an engagement. Rainbow will start opening up the wall. Rexon takes down Butters as he attempts to peek by the new balcony. Some call that heaven. There's mixed opinions on which one's heaven, though, so I don't know.
I think heaven is a feeling, Michael.
All right. Down goes Filthy as he gets absolutely annihilated by Spades entering in through the bathroom. That was just
Looks like
the
a
last...
double peak was lined up, by the way, right there on the top of White Stairs.
It didn't work out, though.
Good recoil control, but the Maverick's not giving an inch. Rexon's still on this roam. He finds Kilo. Spades takes out Drip, and well, Rexon's going to need to get back to the bomb site because it's only Benji left. He swings, connects onto one, but Young has the better end of that engagement. Rainbow going for the plant, and Rexon's not going to be able to make it there in time. Very tentative as he makes his way up the stairs, and we'll head on in towards the bathroom. Last Dance looking to definitively win this half. With the diffuser down, time will be on their side. They just need to burn enough of it off of the clock. Already 1/3 of the way through, and it will continue to go down. Rexon hasn't even begun to get close to sniffing that diffuser. He gets knocked over by an air jab. That's more time off the clock. He's only got about 10 seconds left by the time he's even able to get to the diffuser. 2 kills? Well, they seem very far out of reach. He'll get fed full of lead as he pulls out his pistol in a desperate attempt. He'll take a fight straight to the Maverick. He knows the diffuser's there, and at this point, it's just about getting the frag. That's all. Pad your stats, why don't you? You didn't have anywhere near enough time anyway. There's only a couple seconds left in the round. The Last Dance takes it as they have a very good post-plant after they clean out the bomb site. And with it, they get 4 of the 6 rounds on their attack.
Well played there to the Last Dance. Solid execution mostly comes down to the free kill and piano early on. So what that did was effectively save about 40 seconds of the round and an abundance of utility. That's it. That is the main point there. Thomas is playing Wamai. He should have survived in pixel spot for a solid, I don't know, like I said, 30, 40 seconds, I would wager. And he probably should have, wasted a good amount of utility, given that he's playing Wamai. He can constantly be throwing out those discs, those magnets, and be catching all of those nades and throwables and all that. But he didn't. He died right off the cuff, and Rentfree struggled because of that. All the utility that would have been wasted was still there. All the time that would have been wasted was still there. They used that Last Dance to execute onto the site. Go for fights, get those picks. A big part of that, of course, is Spades. He really just, I think, cleaned up that round. He walked into bathroom and picked up 3 kills on the entry. And at that point, you know, Rentfree's got 1 anchor, 1 roamer. And desperately, Rexon's running back to site. He's like, ah, guys, what happened? So, you know, there's layers to it. But mostly, I'd say it's that first kill.
5 seconds to go.
It was a big pick, and then the transition through the mid round was pretty good as well. They were able to just take their 1v1 gunfights. They managed to take out Drip. They lose the engagement to Rexon somewhere off site. So it's a trade, but it still favors the Last Dance because they have that numbers advantage. Then by the time they were able to start getting that diffuser down, Rexon was so far away from being a factor that there wasn't any real hopes of him being able to retake, especially given that there's been a Nomad on the board every single attacking round. So because of that, you have to be very wary of the air jabs. I think Rexon knew that there was no way for him to be able to make it towards the bomb site without there being air jabs in his entire pathway there. He got knocked over by pallets, and well, his position had been given away at that point. You just need to sit farther back and play off the stairs. There's so many walls you can't shoot through. The defenders will have to take a direct engagement. And in that case, your best friend is that diffuser timer. So, last defense by Rentfree. It's going to be on the reading room bomb site. There was an attempt here earlier. It did not go well for Rentfree. The Last Dance prevailed. They got the opening pick and they took the round. It was their 3rd round that they won.
You said the last defense, that's what popped in my head.
Yeah, I got it.
Ah.
This is the final countdown, not
Yeah.
the final defense. But anyway,
Final
no,
What?
A bomb has been located.
Not allowed to sing?
none of that.
Okay. Jackie likes it. Why can't you be more like Jackie? Yeah, she says she agrees with me. There we go.
That's great. Okay. Well, anyway, first kill, opening pick is going to go to Kilo. He gets 2 kills, and this will be fast and furious as Benji and Filthy are gone, and then Spades and Rainbow are gone. But still, that opening duel goes to the Last Dance. They also have the diffuser down.
Ooh.
Butters has been dropped by Rexon. Can he secure? The answer right now is no. Young is on the hunt, but Rexon will be able to get away scot-free. He doesn't lose any HP. He'll watch. This is well played by Rexon. A thing of beauty. But it looks like they are aware of his parlor tricks. So they'll get Butters to safety where there's no opening and give him a nice rub back up. The Mozzie pushes though, and Thomas is the last left against Young. Only 1 bullet is required to fell Butters, and Kilo, who had started it off, will find kill number 3 playing over by the balcony. But he's going to have to get an ace clutch. Nobody's really been able to cool off Rexon recently. The diffuser's upstairs, 25 seconds left. You have to lure out Drip and Rexon, but well, you don't know where they are. You're just going to make a thunderous amount of noise, and time is basically gone.
Seconds remaining.
At this point, all you need to do is hide. And I think both Drip and Rexon are very aware of that. So this round will go to Rentfree, and with that, we'll switch sides.
I really can't fathom why he tried to go for the diffuser there. The call was clearly to go for the kills. Maybe he thought that there were some players upstairs. He didn't get the diffuser, so obviously he realized his mistake mid-transition, but it doesn't matter. What does matter is that 4-2 is a lot better than 5-1, obviously, for Rentfree. That makes things very winnable. Now, we've seen a consistent thing throughout this match, and that is Rentfree tend to be better on attack. However, the difficulty there lies in the actual map. While you might be better at attack, are you better at attacking on Cafe, though? I don't know about that. It's not an easy map to attack on. Right now, it is actually, interestingly, sorry, I was surprised by this. It's not been played that much relative to other maps, but it's got a 50% defensive win rate. That actually makes it, let me see here. Wait.
Attackers need to locate and
Yeah, that makes it overall in the US division the most balanced map. Well, I mean, obviously it's 50%, so it's dead balanced, but that's kind of funny. Anyway, generally speaking, conventionally speaking, it's not an easy map to attack on. And hey, you know what? I'll use the European League stats. Theirs are different. It's 60% defender sided. So, haha. Well, 59, but I'm gonna round up. Anyway, that last round was interesting. The top floor clear did not work out very well, as the attackers were attempting to clear towards Cocktail. They got gunned down.
5 seconds to insertion.
Well done specifically to Thomas, who had a good round there.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So, first crack at defense for Last Dance, and they're going to go upstairs to Bar Cocktail. We'll see what they can do. Any suspicions about how they play this role? Okay, their Spades is dead.
Rexon and
a
Spades,
successful
dude.
entry. There goes Spades. So, opening pick, Rentfree, all right.
It's always these two, man. It's always Spades and Rexon. Like every round. Well, Rexon's being droned in and he'll continue to clear downstairs. See, Rainbow is on the hunt, but he's been spotted out by the drone. I doubt he'll expect the Rexon. Ooh, that's been called out though. Rainbow has the information. They both have information. Rexon with a great reaction onto Kilo, and Benji takes down Rainbow. The roamers cleared out. Information might be going both ways, but the bullets are only working for Rentfree.
This is a rough one for Last Dance right now, and 2 minutes left, and we're basically already done the round. So this one's going to be a lot closer than I thought. Butters just decides to dry peek the hatch. At this point, I think it's a get it over with because we know this isn't going anywhere. Young, very likely confused by this, but he's got the diffuser down from Thomas. Not winnable as he pushes over to Pallets, and Filthy is there. Goodbye. So long. The round goes to Rentfree.
OT Parker, or do you think that's a fluke?
I think OT's on the cards.
Yeah. So that's mostly the roam clear there from Rexon. And Rexon being droned in is a really ruthless force. Not only the roam clear, but also the fact that Rexon took by dining on the middle floor. Because he took by dining, he forced the roamers into pillars. Pillars was being held by the rest of the attack, so. Okay. Alright, Cyano. Alright, you just like Parker. You know, I had an opportunity to make that same joke earlier, and I didn't. I held my tongue. You guys can't. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Our spectator's making a joke in TeamSpeak chat. He says, and I quote, "Fluke is a caster for UKIN." So, because I said fluke. Anyway, kitchen defense here for the Last Dance. They're gonna do their best to hold the bottom. Let's see how firm their grip is. Now, thus far, through the defensive side, we've only seen one round for the Last Dance, and it looked real miserable. I would say one of the worst defenses we've seen. Also comes to Rentfree, really, though, on that roam clear. I would mostly attribute it to Rex in particular, and the person droning him in, whoever that might have been. I want to say Thomas. I'm just going to guess Thomas, but I don't actually know.
Not entirely sure, but yeah, it was a pretty miserable one. And like I said, at that point, you kind of just have to throw the round and move on. So that was a coastline attack that we saw resurfacing here on Cafe, and it looks like they might actually be hitting it somewhat quickly, as they're going to want to take this kitchen wall, and Thomas will assume the position, as we can see from above, as the chess match will play out inside of the front of bakery.
Ooh, that was close to death there for Rexon. He could have been felled, but not so. You see those holes were made to make it a little bit harder to Maverick trick. It makes it kind of an uneven surface. It doesn't really change all that much, but it can upset a inexperienced Maverick. Luckily for Rentfree, Thomas is not an inexperienced Maverick, and he's getting the job done. Taking a little bit of damage in the process, but not enough for it to matter. You can see what I'm talking about when I say messes up the holes. It gets a little bit awkward there when you're dealing with that uneven surface. Oh, I think he missed a bit. Yeah,
I do as well. Yeah, there you have to go back into it.
Right.
This is rough.
Oh, no. Because that can be held now. Kilo can hold that if he wants to.
Grenade will go off and do a tiny bit of damage to Kilo, and yeah, they haven't been able to open this wall up. That is a massive miss from Thomas. Down goes Drip, the opening pick, and there finally the wall has been blown to pieces. So they were able to finally get it open, but you've still lost your buck in the process.
Attackers have
An opportunity to tie things up for Rentfree if they can find a kill or two very quickly and then snowball from there. And Thomas will do just that on Nikilo, the Maestro down.
Ooh.
He was so good. Butters peaks and Thomas finds kill number 2. It took him a while to get that wall open, but now he's doing more than just playing off of that utility. The advantage now very firmly in favor of Last Dance. Filthy on 1 HP, but he's still got a gun in his hand, so he's just as good to keep going. And he will need to do some work. A fallback from Last Dance as they are heading towards the eastern side of the map, as we've talked about many, many times. It's the bar portion and deep inside of kitchen service over by the freezer. They're going to have to engage in some long-range fights here as, yeah, they're down in terms of man count. 30 seconds left for the pace to begin to quicken.
Filthy will get spades on the entry. This is looking a lot like that even round count that you were talking about earlier. Rainbow will get one, but as Rexon gets young and Thomas finishes off Rainbow, Rentfree take the round. And it seems like, well, they are going to still be very formidable on the attacking side. I was kind of worried about Cafe, but I guess I shouldn't have been.
Worried about what?
I was worried that Rentfree would struggle to attack on Cafe, because it's kind of difficult to attack this map. That is clearly not the case, as is evident by those last 2 rounds that we just witnessed, which were one-sided landslides in favor of Rentfree.
Nah, don't be afraid.
Not fade anymore, Parker.
Not afraid. So, this is decidedly attacker favored right now.
Mm-hmm. This is after this match.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Oh wait, never mind. I forgot. Got so many pro league, or sorry, not pro league, but pro caliber players in contention here.
Some professional players.
So many professional players that you're used to like seeing their names, and can you kind of expect them to be playing at the highest level, and then you remember, oh yeah, they're not.
I mean, they are still very much capable of doing so.
They are. That's the point. Yeah. Yep. Top 4 defense. Last Dance. They have yet to win a defense. They've been struggling so much on this half.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
It's really looked like Rentfree Central. So how do
And
you...
they're still going to do setup up top on Cocktail. Things went very, very bad very quickly on this bomb site before. You want to maybe live a little while longer, especially if you're going to try to go 1v1 against Rexon. And, well, they are going to be pretty quick about this. All right, so Rexon and Benji are just storming on in. And it looked like their plan was to attack White, but they will find that there is a barricade in the way. So instead, they'll shoot out the default cam. Take a little bit of info away.
The defense has not put any roamers downstairs, which is a stark contrast to the last time the site was defended. Spades is prone at the top of red. He'll be droned out by Wait, Rexon didn't see him. Benji's gonna walk right into this trap. That's a freebie. How did Rexon not see him? How did that not get called out?
That is some pretty bad timing, if I do say so. And, well, it allows the Last Dance to get that pick that they really, really need.
That's unlucky. Well played to Spades, I guess.
I don't think Spades played that any better than anybody else could have. That's a kill for even a bronze. So,
Yep.
you just walk right in, not aware of that position. What are you going to do? So... And I mean, it takes out Benji. Look at how crucial Benji's utility would be on this site.
On
You go to
Pixel.
Amai and a Jaeger and play, you're going to need to burn through that. You got Evil Eyes. There's a lot that you have to wrestle with, and your best operator to do that is gone.
Yeah. They still have pixel control too. Spades is playing behind a shield there. And without your nades that you just used in from below, it's all on the Ash charge, the singular Ash charge. So Buck and Ash are gonna have to dump all their stuns into that corner, then Ash charge the shield, and that'll be all of their utility essentially, except for the stuns on Filthy. Wait, is he? No. Spades is retaking piano.
He's going to get spotted. Does he lose the fight? That's the question. He's got a disappearing act, but Rexon manages to find him. Sees through the illusion as Thomas gets on the board before getting traded out by Butters. So Brainbow ultimately ends up paying for it, but Thomas is gone. Now goes Rexon 2 to Butters, so he's warming up. 2 kills for the man who had been so big earlier, but had gone quiet over the last couple rounds. He had 8 kills through 2 rounds, and then he just decided to fall off a bit. Unfortunate timing. 20 seconds left, and right now the advantage is in favor of the Last Dance, but there's still plenty to play with. The problem is that Drip is going to have to go for a suicide drop, and he does just that, and gets splattered by Kilo. Playing off that position, Filthy swings on into heaven. He's got the pistol out. He'll have to engage, but he misses it. Kilo with 2 kills to clean up the round. The Last Dance had surrendered 3 rounds to Rentfree, but they finally find the board for the first time in almost 10 minutes. They're back up 5-4.
Very close to match point now. Only 1 more round. That's how that works. So, that execution. The roam clear, finding nothing. That's because there was nothing to find. I like that the Last Dance recognized that the roam clear from Rentfree was too vicious, and it was better just to leave well enough alone. Leave the roam clear, just bring everybody up to the top floor. And hilariously, a non-roamer, I guess, a player prone at the top of red, goes undroned. Rexon's drone passes by him, and thus Benji dies, allowing for a lot more freedom on the defensive side. And while Last Dance actually almost threw that by getting maybe a little too aggressive and being a little too confident in their position, they managed to win it in the end. That's all that really matters. So, the Last Dance figured it out. They figured out the formula to beat Rentfree. Just prone at the top of red. And don't roam. Downstairs.
10 seconds left before
Also, drone properly is something that everybody needs to remember. Always drone
That's
properly.
a good tip.
Yes, always drone, or else you too will end up dying as a free kill on the top of red.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, this is a
All
pivotal
right.
round for Last Dance because they could put an exclamation mark on this series. Rentfree was my pick to take it, but this has been a very close cafe. I suspect that Rentfree wins this round. We go to overtime. You'd predicted it. It's going to be a long one. So buckle up. Out on the balcony by Engine are 3 separate members of Rentfree, and on the cardiac sensor is Butters. They try to push him with the drone, but he'll go right back on, and he sees 2. He's already had 1 push. He knows he's inside, but they'll double up on him. Rexon with a big kill onto Young. He's got Butters in his line of sight, but he sees the Jaeger instead. Can't outduel Spades, so right back to even numbers. So the jump in from Rexon takes out Young. That's pretty big. And honestly, I like Rexon. I wouldn't trade him for the world, especially with the way that Rentfree's playing lately. But the hard carry, if you wanted to call him that, he's cooled off now. Of Butters, he's been silenced. Majorly falling on the shoulders of Rainbow Spades and Kilo, as Rentfree is up by 1 man.
Rainbow's definitely get a kill if Last Dance wants to take this round and push us on match point. You can see Rentfree's chilling off. 90 seconds left in the round, and they don't need to rush.
attackers have located a
Filthy
bomb.
will drone into Dining. Rainbow in a position to stop the push in through Dining. Thomas trying to open up a hole in the wall to make that a little bit easier. Get up the corner, and you can make that a nice little plant spot. Rainbow knows that this is happening. He's going to try and counter it by repositioning. There's no holes opened up low in the White Hall wall. That's actually really bad for Rainbow because he now has to make the holes himself. And in theory, you could get some nice cheeky bullet holes. But a big open rotation would actually be more daunting, I think, for the attack in this scenario.
You can hear guns rattling away as the push is going to come over towards Reading. A great toss from Thomas will find Spades. And the advantage that was in favor of Rentfree will continue to grow. They've now been able to double up on numbers over the Last Dance. The final line of defense will be Kilo with that Alda in hand, and he's a pretty powerful foe. The final boss of the bomb site more often than not. Rainbow only has 1 kill, so that's some confidence that you're going to have if you're Rentfree, knowing that the likelihood of him being able to get a second is quite slim. At least with how he's played so far. Default plant spot is open if Thomas wants to plant there. There's an Evil Eye still up. It's being watched and used as the plant goes off in the corner. Drip takes out Rainbow, so now it's on the shoulders of Kilo. He has no intel. He's not going to make it through the rotate. Drip, as his name suggests, he's cash money. He finds 2 big kills for the final members of the Last Dance, and he gets the last laugh. It's 5-5.
Well played there to Rentfree. Okay, so that engagement over by Engine Room was really awkward. It had 2 players pushing red 90 on the defense, which is curious. That second player did manage to get the kill, at least, on Rexon, so that lockout was important. Rexon would have been a huge advantage for the attack moving forward in that round for Rentfree. I think the nature of the engagement, though, still left the Last Dance on the back foot. And following that engagement, all ensuing engagements went the favor of the Last Dance, particularly surrounding pillar control. Once the Last Dance had pillar and train control and everything in between, they were able to start leveraging into the site. And that nade over the reinforced wall from the Maverick, I think that was the last. That was it. It was over then. Because the attack had full reign over reading, whether they knew it or not. And eventually, Rentfree figured that out. They took reading control. I'm a little disappointed in Kilo. He opened up a hole above the reading door to try and scare off Rentfree and prevent them from pushing it. But he really should have just held that angle. He was trying to support his teammate. That's why he rotated off of it. He could have also potentially opened up a more, aggressive angle above the doorway, which is less dangerous, but it doesn't matter. In the end, it is what it is. Kilo failed to prevent the push in through reading door. Rentfree took full control after they got the pick with the round over.
So we will at very minimum need all 12 rounds to settle this one, as it gets to happen again. Oh, I'm so excited, Michael, I get to say it. No matter what happens at this round, one of the teams is going to go to match point.
There you go.
I'm getting it out of my system.
Could we get a clap for Parker, please? I wish shields worked like that too, Brembo. You can still get it down. It's just not comfortable, A shield placement is really awkward.
It's another reading defense, and well, let's see if they can tighten it up. So go back to this bomb site yet again and see what's possible. They'd lost out on the entry and then struggled through the mid-round and then just gotten beaten on the retake. And literally all 3 steps of the round were very much Rentfree's to control. And a lot of that was Rexon just getting guided in. And he got that opening pick, nearly missed out on the second to Spades, but Spades was, well, he wasn't long for this earth. And it seems like the take from Rentfree is going to be very similar to what we'd seen before. They're going to take through engine, they're going to go into train, and they're going to wait for the call before they can move into the A bomb site. But the problem is the A bomb site's been shot to hell and back, and the hatch is opened up, and it's going to be watched by both Spades as well as the Wamai of Brainbow. So 2 sets of eyes from the Last Dance will be staring very intently at where the push could come in. It'll be risky. I imagine that the focus will be on reading, as it is with most teams, so you're going to have to clear out both Young and Butters from that spot.
You see the Last Dance have learned from their prior mistakes, and now they are simply waiting. That's one Capcan trap successfully detonated. Drip goes to half HP. Rexon will get Spades, though. No damage exchanged there. All one-sided. Well done to Rexon. Nice entry. 90 control established here for Rentfree. That's big. That should be able to leverage itself into A site control. Young's going to be the real hurdle here for Rentfree as they attempt to push that hallway. If he's able to do some work from that position, it will stop the attack cold. U-Jammer, ooh, not perfectly placed, but it does get the drone eventually. Down goes Kilo, though, and it's looking worse and worse on the actual bomb site. But the problem here is the time. That's 1 for Young, 1 for Butters on the entry. Shotgun doesn't beat Rexon when he's landing his shots. And Young will go down. It's all on Brainbow, as Butters is also on the floor. Another Capcan trap detonates, and the information is in Brainbow's favor, but he still loses the fight. Oh, no! Filthy whips out the pistol, and the potato-potato exchange goes the way of Rentfree.
Okay, I can't say potato-potato on terms of Filthy. Filthy was actually quite good there. So, I wasn't talking about Filthy. Yeah, I know.
To be fair, I was trying to be kind by calling it an exchange. It was an exchange of sorts. Sometimes you have these matches, Parker. Sometimes you have these matches where you just you load in, I briefly mentioned these earlier. You load in and you're feeling good, and for some reason things just don't work for you. You know?
This one has been an absolute barn burner.
Yes, the barn is on
The
fire.
barns have been burned.
Yeah. We'll find the arsonist
Attackers need to
eventually.
locate and defuse bombs.
I'm sure.
Upstairs to a bomb site that went one time in favor of the attackers and one time in favor of the defenders of Bar Cocktail. Kitchen was attempted once, didn't work out. Double reading, didn't work out. Defense have been having a miserable time on this map. A combined 3 defensive victories to 8 attacking victories. That's obviously a problem. So, you, what do you do differently here?
Seconds left before insertion.
I mean, the Last Dance were very good on attacking this bomb site, but that doesn't mean a damn thing when it comes to defending it.
You know, if the Last Dance can push this to OT, I think that they might be able to take this one. That's their only option now, obviously. But what I mean by that is they need a little bit of a soft reset, and I think the Last Dance definitely need more attack rounds. And they'll get them if they can get to OT. As for what they can do differently in this round here and now, that's a curious question, because I want to say get more aggressive, but we've seen that work against the Last Dance time and time again. We saw it work for them when they were defending up here, but that's like the only time the aggression worked for Last Dance on defense.
You want to
So
know a problem with if we need OT? For the Last Dance, they have to defend twice.
Attackers have located a bomb.
It's rough.
Yeah.
At least get the one attack, you know?
That is true, and anything can happen when it comes to overtime, so...
Right.
Anyway, we'll see, as there's quite a lot of focus going on over towards Cocktail, and the wall gets blown open as there's a thermite on the board. That is something a bit unusual. We haven't seen much thermite play in this series at all. And Thomas, who had a really rough start, has come alive and has actually been the second best player over the last 6 rounds, next to Rexin in the lobby. They've both been quite good.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Butters also has been asleep since round 2.
He had 8 kills at round 2. At the start of round 3, 8 kills. He has had 3 kills in the next 9 rounds. Not where you want your superstar, quote unquote, to be. And I said this. You'll see a player who'll get 8 kills and they'll get 2-3 kills over the next...
Yeah, you even
little while.
forecasted it. I remember
Well,
that.
I said you get like 11 or 12 kills and then go cold, right?
Yeah,
And
something like
that's
that.
exactly
But
what
same
happened.
thing. Yeah.
He used up all of his mojo, man!
It happens. It does.
It does happen.
He did single-handedly get 2 rounds, though, so there's that. Sometimes that's the contribution your team needs. Well, right now, I'd say that Rentfree is doing a great job of peeling away the utility. They've already lined up for the execution. They've got the coverage necessary. All the guns are still alive for Rentfree. This should be a pretty easy plant and cover for Rentfree. But Young at least has 1 more gas canister to delay after this one is finished.
The good news for the Last Dance is that the Electric Claw from Butters that was tossed out, it managed to grab the last exothermic charge. And it's a plant on the opening, but no, Thomas has no coverage. There's nobody watching from Kilo's spot, and he'll gun down Thomas, giving the opening pick to those to the defenders. 30 seconds left, and well, it's great patience from the Last Dance. It sure smells like overtime, doesn't it? Unless there's something goes absolutely sideways, this should be a very easy hold for the Last Dance. But oh no! The sprint on in from the Buck! He can't outduel Kilo. The teams will trade back and forth. Down Benji goes, and Rexon will need to clutch, but he won't do it. We talked about him. Butters has a huge round, a number of kills with the AUG in hand, and he propels his team to overtime.
Yeah, big ups to Butters. He definitely needed to show up in that round, and he certainly did. So OT, and as you mentioned, Last Dance on defense first, which is not ideal for them, but they can certainly make something happen here. They'll go back to the top floor, obviously feeling confident after the success that they've just had. In that last round, all that we saw from the Last Dance was an abundance of patience. No exposure to unnecessary angles, and that ended up working out in their favor. On the side of Rentfree, a serious stall out, and I will attribute that to nerves. Obviously, I'm not on Rentfree. I'm not playing with them right now. I don't know what's going on in their comms. But that is, to me, based on what I just saw, that looked like nerves. I think it just comes down to... Because, I mean, look at the way they played, right? Rentfree was playing objective. Heavy objective. in a plant spot they've never tried to leverage before, in a way that they've never tried to execute before, way slower than usual, and it didn't work out for them very well. And in my opinion, it didn't work out for them very well. Trying to change their identity, their style in the middle of the round, and I think, or not middle of the round, middle of the match, at the end of the match, they're trying to be smart, you know? Because they feel the need to be smart, because they're the ones on the pressure here. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. This is one thing I've talked about in the past, where I find it's easier when you get to that last OT of that last map in that best of 3. It's almost always easier to be on defense no matter what, just because the pressure's on your opponent to make a move.
In that previous round, I liked how swift Rentfree were able to take Piano, but then they stalled out inside of that particular part of the map. And while the Kaid play of Butters, not just in terms of his killing at the end, but it was his gadget work that was probably at its best. That Electric Claw was deftly used to stop the exothermic charge and catch Rentfree off guard. And that's one of the problems with bringing a Thermite versus a Maverick. They're not going to repeat that mistake again, as Thomas has swapped off of the Thermite and will go with the Maverick this time. So it'll be easier for them to be able to cut away with the wall, assuming that there's nobody from the Last Dance with a Nitro cell or playing by bathroom to swing on you. There's pros and cons to running either of those operators, so you can pick one, you can pick other, pick your poison kind of deal. Benji is actually getting droned in by 3 separate players. It looks like Rexon is as well, but Rexon will now go on to drone, so that'll allow Benji to continue on his way. At the top of White Stairs is Brainbow, still with the lone kill, and he'll watch and be the guardian of that particular part of the map. He'll be in a heads-up gunfight. There's barbed wire in the way, and the moment that it gets hit by the Zofia, that'll be a call to action. Meanwhile, down below in Reading, both the Buck and the Ash are going to work, tearing through as much of the ceiling as possible in order to make a great level of discomfort for the defenders. And they'll have to evacuate their positions. I would assume that a big portion of the focus from Drip will be on the spots where the defenders punished the attackers from on the previous round.
So this is the big thing, is while there's no roamers downstairs for Last Dance, which leaves them, you know, like pretty safe to the roam clear. Once the roam clear is done, if there's still enough time for the attack, they can do all this soft destruction, and that's exactly what's happening. Thomas's nades have both missed, though. That's worth keeping in mind. There's a lot of kill potential there. Spades is in Piano. He's been left in Piano. He could drop down and disrupt this clear from underneath. If he just has the confidence to make this drop, he could seriously upset this attack, who will not expect a flank right now. He will make the drop, so Spades is on the hunt. He's got to be quicker, though. The attack is already shifting for a site take. Butters takes down Benji, and he'll take down Drip as well, who both tried to ascend through the white staircase. So Spades is no longer needed, as the rotation actually comes over to Cigar and Piano. And now Spades, I bet, wishes he was in Piano. Butters will get his 3rd kill. Thomas will refrag, but at this point, it looks all but over for Rentfree. This push up through the stairs will be shut down by Spades. Thomas, the last attacker, he will not get one. Brainbow picks up a kill, and the Last Dance will take the round.
And they're on match point now. Good for them. They haven't been on match point, period, until that very final round. So they've got everything working in their favor. 2 successful cocktail defenses in a row, Michael, and now they'll go on to attack. And given what we've seen of the 2 rounds, or the 2 sides rather, the Last Dance went up 4-2 on attack, just as Rentfree did the same. But we go through these wacky worlds where in overtime, all of a sudden defense is going to win every single thing, and we're going to need all 15 rounds. Once again, to tell you what's on the line, first place overall in this stage of Challenger League. So there's a lot there to brag about. Who's going to be able to do it? Is it going to be the 6 rivals champions Rentfree, or will the Last Dance get the last laugh?
All right. Possibly. It definitely seems like it right now. I think that Rentfree has lost their mojo a little bit here. I don't know. I don't know what it is, Parker. They looked so good for so long. Was that a triple in-sync reinforcement?
It sure looked that way, didn't it?
I swear I heard them all finish at the same time.
Also, can we talk about Butters for a second here?
Yeah,
Butters
he's reawoken.
Butters is sitting at 11 kills, and we say, look at that, he hasn't really done anything. And then he gets 5 kills in a row.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Over the course of 2 rounds,
Remarkable.
Yeah. Butters does not want to lose. He doesn't have it in his name. There's no IWNL. But
Well, fun fact, I think PogChamp is running that on all their operators. So
oh yeah. I mean, I guess that's why he's probably not
The
running it,
devs-
but he's got the same
the
sentiment.
devs really need to make a charm that just says like IWNL
Yeah.
for I will not lose. Like devs, it's not hard, and that thing would sell like hotcakes. Put it in the battle pass. People will play for it.
Charge $30 for it.
Don't charge $30 for a single charm. Don't listen to them.
You won't ever
But
need
make
to do
an
anything ever again.
IWNL charm, please. I ask you. I beg of you.
Yes.
I will not lose.
I will not lose. I agree. We should have that charm.
There you go. Well, it's gonna be a kitchen defense. I always want to say kitchen bakery, Michael, just because of the old name of the bomb site.
Oh, I forgot. For everyone who's gonna say it's I will never lose, it doesn't matter. Okay.
It's not I will never lose because it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Located by
Right.
Or I do not lose.
Yeah. I know, but there
I do
are
not lose. And
dissenters.
there's I
I'm
will
just saying,
not lose.
there's dissenters, and it doesn't matter. It
I don't care
literally
what they
doesn't matter.
say.
They both mean the same thing.
I don't care what they say, Michael.
Yeah, I know. I just know they're there, and I'm trying to refute them actively.
I do not lose is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I will not lose.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we have come to expect, Rexon is going to play off of this same spot, and he's going to be joined by Benji above. Actually, it looked like it might have just been Benji up there alone, so I was deceived by the silhouettes. Rexon instead is going to head for the 3rd floor. So this is information that's being conveyed, and well, this was exactly the thorn in the side of the Last Dance the last time they tried to take this bomb site. Rexon played above, and there was no time for the Last Dance to be able to drone out that 2nd floor after they lost Young and then altercation above. Also, this was when Thomas was playing with the Clash, so things are a little bit different this time. But it looks like most of that wall's been opened up. Some missed opportunities from Butters to just take away at the wall, and he'll continue to get shocked, but you have to be wary of a prep run out. None for now. 1 minute left. Match point still for Last Dance. They're going to want to put this away.
They're trying not to die. That's why Butters is being so careful. Evil Eye will take down that drone. Nade likely aimed at the Evil Eye. Still roamers above. Rexon can be very impactful in this round. He's got holes above as well. He can deny a push in through the breach and through prep. That's absolutely massive. If Rex is able to do his work upstairs uncontested, this will certainly be a rent-free round, especially likely as we hit the last 30 seconds. Rexon, gonna push down red stairs. Exchange by the main lobby. Spades trying to fight the Jaeger. He'll win that fight. Down goes Benji. That's huge. That gets lobby control. Rexon gets one, but he's actually traded by Young. Rainbow gets one on the entry as well. It's all on Drip all of a sudden as Spades picks up a kill. Drip's got Yokai drone, so he can deny the plant, but there's 13 seconds. That's not 0-0. Keel gets it. Last Dance will have the last stand, I suppose. And Rentfree are evicted. Well played there. The series goes 2-1 favor Last Dance. They'll be first in Challenger League.
I guess you could say that the rent is too damn high, Michael.
Yep.
They get evicted. Congratulations, Last Dance. They're going to finish first in this stage of the U.S. Challenger League. But, yeah, what a showing that was for both teams. There's obviously a lot to be very proud of, and I think that both of these teams can walk away from this with their heads held high. There's good things to look at on both sides. Good attacks, good communication, good executes, etc. Let's bring Jackie in, though, and we'll go through this series and wrap things up for our show.
Woo! The Last Dance, Stage 1 Finals, Challenger League winners! Woo! Come on, Intero. There we go. Hands up in the air.
Jazz hands.
That was fun. That last map there. Yes, little jazz hands. But TLD clapping back. All right, after that kind of poor showing on map 2. So, Intero, you called it a barn burner, and it sounds like both of you actually kind of enjoyed watching this last map.
Yeah, I mean,
there,
I thought that
so.
both teams played really well. I think they made mistakes, obviously, which is what's bound to happen. We see it at all levels, and it will be more pronounced at the amateur scene, especially given the fact that both of these teams are still trying to find their footing and their chemistry. You know, Challenger League only plays once a week, and they play a whole host of opponents on a wide variety of maps, so you've got some time until you're able to be banging at all cylinders. But I think both these teams, I mean, they've got players that have played at the highest level. They're obviously very well practiced. They were hitting their shots for the most part. There were obviously some poor performances that I'm sure both teams will see upon reviewing all three of these maps. But ultimately, this is the kind of matchup that we come to expect from the top two teams in US Challenger League. And I think that it lived up to the billing, that's for sure.
And Kicks, that last map was a dogfight, as we said. Why do you think TLD edged out Rentfree? While you were casting, remember you said something like they lost their mojo.
Like Rentfree got in their own heads. That's the one thing I picked up on there most when they failed to lock out. When it was allowed to get to overtime, when the Last Dance pushed it that little extra inch, just narrowly, that was the defining moment, I think, for the entire map. And I think that, again, that was the exact moment where, like, you can point at it and be like, that's where Rentfree lost, because something got in their heads and it never got out. I think it started on that round too, because that was the round where we saw Rentfree bring a Thermite instead of a Maverick, and thus they couldn't open the walls they wanted to open up, and their attack just, you said it, Parker, stalled out. In piano for almost the entire round, accomplished very little from there, because the Last Dance is just chilling. And after that, Mojo lost.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. And Kix, I did ask you earlier if there was any advice you had for these players in the Challenger League when it came to mental toughness. And you really just said it comes down to time and just kind of living through these experiences, right?
A lot of these players, to be fair, these are much more experienced players. And I think actually, if we're taking a look at this match in particular, I think one of the big reasons why the Last Dance managed to win in the end there was, partially, again, I will reiterate that I think that defense on like the final map of a series, where all the stakes are there. Getting defense versus an OT is really nice, even if it's been an attacker-sided map, just because your enemy has to do the stuff. You don't. But I also think that the Last Dance had a little bit more mental fortitude there, right at the end, a little bit better at just consolidating their thoughts, just focusing on what they know they need to accomplish and not getting in their own heads. And that, it's an experience thing.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we have Butters on deck, so we are going to chat with him now. Butters, congratulations! Stage 1 Finals Challenger League winners. How you feeling, man?
Oh, we're feeling good. For sure.
He's speechless. Okay, no, you're talking to us. Okay, great. That's super exciting, though. That was a dogfight for sure. I was just speaking with Kix about the mental toughness required to pull off a win like that. Map 2 definitely didn't go the way y'all probably wanted it to, but you bounced back. So talk to me about how you all recomposed, reset, and were able to claim that map 3.
I don't know. We were all just asleep on coastline, and like whatever we were doing, it was just getting shut down. Like they're a really good coast team, honestly. But yeah, I mean, we just shut down, but we didn't let that get in the way of us. That was the first map we dropped this entire season. So shout out to them. Like they're a really good team, and they put up a fight against us. But I mean, we reset right after that map. I played some jams in the back, had to get the vibes up. So I mean, we came back, and I don't know, my team pulled through.
Okay, what jams? I gotta know. Yeah.
Chanel by Frank Ocean. Me and Spades go crazy to that song. Like before game day, every time we're singing like crazy.
Okay, Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm loving it. Frank Ocean. That's the secret to victory, everybody. But for real, you got the title, you got some money. Just tell me how this feels, what it means to get this title. I mean, you guys are the stage 1 winners. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. I mean, but all of our eyes are just on Pro League, Like, that's where we want to be. We want to be Pro League. So, I mean, that's the next step.
Totally understand that. So what are you gonna do with the money?
Food. I need food. I gotta bulk up.
Protein then? What type of food? You gonna get some sushi?
I eat a lot of junk. I just want to get kind of chubby.
There's gotta be a dream meal here.
I just want to get chubby.
All right, Cheetos and Mountain Dew it is. Okay, all right. I feel you on that. So, I like what you said, that your eyes are on Pro League. Just for those watching it at home, what are your team's goals moving into Stage 2? It seems like all eyes are on getting to Pro League, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to redo what we just did right now, so we just don't want to lose to anybody. That's it. We want to get first. And, I mean, if we get second, we get second. That's still a shot for Pro League, so... But top 2, that's it. That's all we want.
All right. Well, congratulations on the victory. I hope you get a bunch of Mountain Dew and some Cheetos and you're listening to Frank Ocean and really enjoying yourself. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Butters.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful evening. Let's bring it back to our casters. I always want to be like, I can't believe it's Butters.
Why didn't you do it?
But I didn't do that, and I should have.
Yeah.
I don't know, missed opportunity, and I just thought of it at the end.
It's gone.
Yeah. Moving on. It's Friday, and we are almost done, y'all. So, Intero, break down the bracket.
Hoist the bracket onto your screen. Hoist it.
Hoist it.
Bring it up.
Bring it up.
Now, the only scores
Okay,
that we've
here we go.
recorded so
There
far
it
on
is.
your screen, obviously spoilers. These matches, if you do want to watch them, if you're watching live right now, they're going to be uploaded tomorrow. So they've been casted by a whole slew of community casters. Excellent job for them. PogChamp beats Joe. Oblation and the Favelas needed a third map, as did Rentfree in the Last Dance. And then Beast Coast defeated Spiker 2-0. So what does this mean? Well, for the top 6 teams, it affects their placing/seeding for the next stage. As for Beast Coast and Spiker, they'll have to go through relegation. So that's a bummer. And there will be more times to qualify for the next stage of Challenger League. But with the Last Dance, they finish on top. It doesn't mean anything more than seeding and money. The ultimate goal for a lot of these teams, as Butters talked about, is getting a chance to compete to be first in Challenger League and then battle against the worst team in the US division to get their spot. So that's going to be the huge prize on the line, but right now there's obviously nothing to fight for in that regard. It's just bragging rights, good seating, and some money so Butters can eat some food.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, Cheetos, and Frank Ocean. I did not see that. I was like, okay, Butters, okay. Anyway, typically I'd be telling y'all, I won't see y'all for a bit. Have a great weekend. But I'm seeing both of you tomorrow because we got the North American Major Qualifier. It starts at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So for all of you watching, I know you want to join us, and I'm sure you want to see some action too. So make sure you're there. Or be
What?
square.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
She said. What Jackie said.
You know what? I just try to make puns and be as
Nope.
funny as you guys, and I fail. And the one time I kind of had a funny one, I didn't even say it to Butters.
Should've
Well,
said
you know, we
I'm
hear it
done.
eventually.
I'm done, y'all.
so-
Yeah. On that fine note, everyone have a wonderful evening. And I want to give a big thank you to my lovely casters in Tarot and Kickstar. We love them to pieces. Big thank you to my crew behind the scenes. We love you all too. And of course, we love all of you at home. And we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't miss it. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful evening. See you tomorrow.